Okay, I'm going with our clock up there is a few seconds slow. The real time is 5:30, so we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is Thursday, June the 18th, 2026. We're at Poetry Town Hall, 5671 County Road 323, Poetry, Texas, 75160. Starting time at 5:30 p.m. We'll do a roll call for quorum. Secretary Laura is on vacation, so I'll call roll. Myself, Mayor Jaffe is present. Mayor Pro Tem Fowler.
Here.
Councilman Anderson.
Here.
Councilman Kendrick.
Here.
Councilman Bryant.
Here.
Councilwoman Hibbs.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. And Mayor Pro Tem Fowler is going to lead us in the pledge and invocation. Please join us.
If you'll join in. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day and thank you for all the many blessings that you pour out on this town and these citizens and these members, Lord. And we just ask that you just guide our conversations and not help to give us ears to hear and help us to all remember that we're here serving the people and help the citizens understand that we are human and we're trying to do the best we can, Lord. We just ask that you guide our conversations, give us wisdom and discernment in our decision making, and let us all have a safe trip home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Terry. Okay, we don't normally have this many people at our meetings. It's been getting a little quiet, but this is encouraging. Thank you all for showing up. Can everybody hear? Does the sound out there up? Okay, so our meeting tonight is going to be split into two parts. We're going to do a workshop up front, and basically a workshop just gives us an opportunity to kind of talk about things. As most of you probably know, as a city council, we are forbidden from having a discussion with more than 2 council members outside of a public meeting. So we're required to hold a public meeting in order that all of us can talk about any given thing. But workshops do not include votes. So the topics that are in the workshop tonight, budget and updates on the zoning ordinance, are just going to be discussion only. No votes or actions will be taken. Now, that said, I mean, we'll take notes. Okay, we want to go change this or work on that or whatever, but it doesn't affect ordinances or resolutions. No laws or anything like that will be a change. We're just trying to get some feedback because we've got people working on budget in a group of 2, and there's 6 of us here, so we all need to be brought up to speed and be given the opportunity to contribute our information. Then we'll move into the regular part of the meeting, including the regular agenda, and I know that's where a number of you want to speak. Would you give me the sign-in sheet, Sarah? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open the workshop agenda at, sorry, I'm having to take my own notes tonight, at 5:33. And first up is workshop agenda item 1. And it's a discussion of next fiscal year's budget, 2026, 2027. And I'm going to let Doug and Tracy lead us in that conversation.
Well, I can open it up for a minute, and then Tracy can help me out. The budget process, for those that are concerned, want to see the budget, this is a great way of having folks here and even in the community wanting to know about our budget process. This is something that Tracy and I have been working on now. This is our second budget that we've worked through, and it took a lot of work the first time. It's taken, almost the same amount of work, but different opportunities that we're looking at as far as our budget and our monies. I think our money is doing as well as be expected for what we have. But this meeting too, as the mayor stated, we need to get some input from the council, and because of the fact is the next step for us will be amending, making our next budget meeting, but at the same time try to have a budget amendment meeting where if there's anything new that comes up, or there's things even tonight that we want to move a line item to another line item, that can be also brought up in the addendum that we have. So typically it's, folks have just one addendum meeting and it covers additional budget monies that we may want to include as far as from capital to operations and vice versa, or just like I said, mentioned before, line to line. So we've got a better hold of it this year because we went through it last year. And so been a lot of work. Tracy, I glad she helps because she's the one that does the digging, and I do mostly the everyday operations. Because I called her the other day and said, okay, I'm used to looking at this on a department head level, and this is what I'm seeing, and we talk about it back and forth, and then we have other conversations. So with that, Tracy, you can have all you want now.
Okay, very
Hey,
good.
Tracy, and
Yes,
could
sir.
you, when you do it, could you note what is different than last meeting?
Okay,
Yeah, the
yes, I
Just to
can.
make,
Yes.
one I sent out was from the last meeting because I didn't have anything
Okay,
updated.
all right.
yeah.
So you have what was at the last meeting.
Yes.
right,
Okay, so I'm
not in
gonna,
front of me though.
yeah, you don't have it in front of you?
I have this that you sent, Mike sent out.
That's the
So
last one.
that's it.
Oh, okay, the one before
that's-
that,
Right.
Yes.
that would, if there's any changes, well, that,
Well, y'all can write these changes down. I'm fixing to give you some changes.
okay.
Okay. All right, so if you'll go to page, no, not page 2. So on page 3, so we've got at the very bottom, you'll see capital expenditures, which is roads. And so that's a topic of discussion that we might want to get into later because we have been using our capital expenses for roads and not on the worksheets, which is on the following page. Yeah, well, you'll see Hunt County Road Refurbishment 6011. And then you have a capital number up there. If you look at the current budget, we put, looking at the budget you currently have in front of you, we've slated $120,000 for Hunt County Capital Road Refurbishment. We need to change those numbers, and the reason I say that is when you look at the law says capital improvements need to last at least 3 to 5 years. So as a council, we need to decide what that looks like. We know culverts is a capital improvement. We know refurbishment from the base up is refurbishment. Bridges would be capital. Any road refurbishment from the ground up. But we need to decide as a council what that's going to look like. And I say we need to move those out of capital and put them in the road worksheets. Does that make
So
sense?
that would be 6,100 pothole signage and road
Yes.
related.
Yes. So I'm saying let's leave money in capital in both counties, but move a larger chunk out of that into the road sheets, the project sheets.
Yeah, that's where we're spending most of our money right now.
That-
so.
So
That makes
basically
sense.
what would stay in is that for culverts and things like that?
Yeah, so,
Mhm.
yeah, that's something we need to decide as a council, how much money do we want to leave in capital? And discuss what does capital look like? Is that total road refurbishment from the base up? We know culverts is capital, we know bridges is going to be capital, and we just need to come up with what percentage of that money do we want to keep in capital and move the access over to the project sheets?
Based on the road repair or redo, correct?
Well,
point.
that's what we need to decide.
That's
as
what
a
I'm saying.
council,
That's
that
what we're
look like.
trying to-
Yeah.
When you say look like, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And none of this has anything to do with the grant money, I take it?
No, that's
No,
correct.
grant's totally separate,
Okay.
and it is a different line item altogether.
Yeah, the grant's an in and out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's money in and it goes straight
Right.
back out, so.
The only thing that will come out of our money, is the 18,000 for this year, and then we'll have another 18,000. We've already got it slotted to come out of the following year's budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For
Our
the
match,
18,000 for what?
our match for the grant.
Oh, the grant.
Half of
Yeah.
our 37.5.
Yeah, I
Have
got
you calculated the culvert expenses from this report yet that we spent this year?
If you
The one that
look,
I sent out,
Yeah.
not yours, but it should,
Okay.
well, it's the same thing. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So I took the liberty to do some spreadsheets, like on Hunt County. We've got 1, 2, 3 culverts, and we don't have them
I'm counting 6.
broken down. We're gonna work towards breaking all that down, and I'm gonna say it was probably around $7,000.
I'm counting 6 on
well,
this.
Hunt
Six.
County and culvert work this year, we've done $11,171.
Okay,
So when we're talking about capital improvements, I mean,
So,
that's a real easy, probably gonna cost that again next
what I
year.
was thinking, let's keep $20,000 in that account.
In which
In the
account?
Hunt,
Capital?
in the Hunt County, in capital,
And it gives you a little bit
and
of
then
surprise.
take the 100,000 and move that over to road projects. Are y'all good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay,
It's okay with me.
okay.
Well, if I was predicting, I mean, these culverts appear to be lasting around 40 years. And so depending on how long your neighborhood has existed or your road, it's probably coming up for a culvert collapse. I mean, we just did Dales Road the other day. It had
Well,
been
that's
in
the
rough-
third one in Grandy Verde we've done. We did that
Yeah,
one,
that's a-
2466, and then the big culvert. A lot of people don't think of that as Grandy Verde. That's Grandy Verde as well. So
Right.
that's 3 in that one
Two, yeah,
subdivision.
two big ones, yeah.
Yeah, I would guess we're gonna have probably 3 or 4 a year for a while because they're starting to age out. I mean, these
Yeah,
roads
they-
are,
they
30,
Developed
40,
that in the late 70s.
50 years old.
Thanks.
So yeah, and they're not cheap. I mean, those are,
I think 20 safe.
You
Yeah,
think?
last
Yeah,
one,
20 or
$2,800.
Now,
bucks.
that's just on the
Because part
Hunt
of
County
the
side.
expense we have coming too is when the county gets that rock and does the bridge work down there, that would be considered capital.
Capital
Right.
improvement.
So, so Tracy, if we take it out, it goes into 61 for Hunt County, 6111, that becomes,
6111 project worksheet.
so that comes 110,000 in?
Yes.
Yeah, and do we know how many culverts we have?
no.
I've got a list, I haven't counted them. You
Road
probably have
culverts,
one
not
too.
driveway culverts, road culverts.
I mean, the reason I'm saying that, when I was doing the markers for culverts, I've got a pretty good list of culverts.
Yeah, I do not have that number. I know
Um,
where all the collapsed ones are.
did we do any culverts on the Coffin County side this year?
We have not.
So, did we want to keep that 7,000 in there? All right, that's 70,000. Yeah.
Yeah, 70.
Yeah, we
70.
need to.
So that, you
Yeah, I
could
would,
take,
Yeah, I wanna
I would
put
reduce
20
that also.
You want to leave 20 in that or 15?
Yeah, let's do 15.
Okay.
Let's say 15, just in case we have a bridge or something that acts up. And then we left how much in Hunt County? 20?
yeah.
Okay. So Kaufman County, we're adding 55,000,
Yeah, so that becomes,
155,000.
yeah,
That is that right?
How did we end
No.
up with more?
55,
Hunt County should be
65,000.
slightly more.
I'm glad
So-
we're doing this
But,
exercise.
so Kaufman County becomes 65,000?
Well, no, if we
no, it
reduce,
comes
if we reduce 70 by 15, that's
55,000.
55,000 carries into
6112,
10,000. 10,000 and 55 is
65.
10,000. You're right, 65. I thought
So
it
it's
was 100.
65,000
Yeah.
over in
That's
Kaufman.
about right. Yeah,
Okay.
proportionally, we have more mileage of road in Hunt
Yeah.
County.
Right.
okay. Now, a question for you, Mike, since you are the one that does the majority of the road work,
Terry and Tom and I.
are the three of you. Looking at the outgoing checks that we've done on road work, do those figures add up, or do we need to add more to them? I don't know where we're going to get the money for that, and that's something we're going to discuss tonight. But does that seem sufficient
You mean,
at the price rate that we currently have?
you're talking about for the road repairs?
Yes,
110 and 65.
yes. I mean,
Well-
currently we've spent
82.9.
Yeah, 82.9 in Hunt County. And then 21,250 in Kaufman.
So,
All right, we got 3 months left, and this is our busy. So between now, well, this is next year's budget. So between now
And
and
September.
September, do you think you're going to hit that $109,000? Okay.
And
So
some of
this-
that is limited by the county's ability to work us into
Sure,
their schedule.
sure.
And we're not
Okay.
first up, we're part of their overall plan.
Rotation.
So
Right.
we have to take what
Okay.
we can get.
So are y'all good with those numbers then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
For
they're as
next
good
year.
as any for a beginning.
Okay.
I don't think we're.
Okay, so let's go down to 6,300 election expense.
What page?
Same page.
Same page, page
Is the
4 down
projects,
towards
yeah,
the
page
bottom.
4.
election
6,300.
expense?
Yep,
Yes,
got it.
sir.
All right, so Teresa's got, what is on that budget right there?
60,
10,000.
Okay, so that has to increase because each county charges us over $7,000 for each election. Okay, or for the 2 elections we're having next year. So that's over $14,000. All right, and then every year we're charged $721
For the equipment.
just for election expenses that spread throughout all the counties. So I'm gonna say bump that up to
15 or
15,
16,000.
15 or 16,000.
so 6,300 becomes 15,000 in your opinion?
15,000 will just do it.
Yeah,
Oh, well then that, now we also have that voting on the sales and use tax.
that's
So is that-
included, that's included in this.
Okay.
So there's 2 elections next year.
Okay,
Oh, are you? Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Let's do 16.
so that becomes 50,000?
it's up to you.
Yeah, 16's good, but where are we getting it from? Where's the
Well, I
6,000?
mean-
We don't know, we're not zeroed out yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
16, that gives us a little buffer.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna start
16,000.
with 16.
okay.
Because they also send us a bill afterwards to kind of,
That's correct.
Which
We
we
have
don't
the election and
reconcile.
they send us the
That's
final
right.
bill.
Right.
Which we don't know.
So we,
That's months later.
so we just paid that $721
But that's
on
the
the annual
equipment, that's the
fee.
voting equipment.
That's just
Yes.
the machine cost, right?
Okay,
Okay,
All
so
right.
the 10,000 becomes 16,000 for 6,300 election expense.
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
All right, now let's talk about, the surveys and whatnot.
Yeah, so we wanted to particularly, and I know Dale, you've done some footwork on this, engineering, any possible engineering project survey or
So that's gonna be
mapping?
professional services.
Yeah, what we, which I think would probably be an expense this year. New engineering firm, and I give you, all of y'all a copy of it, just to write the scope of work for the survey and the ETJ eventually. Okay? Just to write the scope of work, I've got a proposal for $2,000.
Okay.
And that's gonna give us 1 draft and probably 2 amended scopes, if you will. In other words, we'll get to look at it 3 times.
So you think that can be done before the end,
I would
this
think
year's
we should
end?
be able to do it before October, I would think.
Where
And
we,
we already have, what, 35,000, I think?
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
roads.
so if we still have that money in there, I mean, we can, even if we don't get it invoiced, we can encumber that money
This year.
this year.
Yeah, if
That's
we,
what I'm
as
thinking.
long as we can encumber it this year.
Yes.
Okay.
But this is ready to be signed. If y'all want a copy of it, I can give you a copy.
Yeah, I want to review it.
But that's not for the survey, that's for the scope of work.
Scope
that
of
we wanna
work.
go out and get bids against.
Then we'll invite companies to price it for us.
All right, so
That's gonna have to be a big,
now,
big
one
priority,
thing,
because we was,
and that's only
I don't know if y'all
$2,000, so
need
that's
all that
not a big
minutia
deal.
data.
Because we
No.
have, y'all
No.
have to remember that any engineering or anything like that comes out of general funds, not road funds,
Yes.
okay? So that you're subtracting that from our general fund balance. Thank you.
So, yes, with that said, and Another issue on that, we need, well, we can wait and talk about it later.
Okay.
So,
Okay, but where are we on, I'm trying to find the thanks, sir. Trying to find the category for professional services survey map, because we need numbers.
54, 55, 56, and 57, 56, 40. We're in the 56.
Right
So we
here at
have
the top of
zoning
page
map,
3.
update professional services, we have
Yeah.
disannexation map updates, TJ removals.
And that's why
so
we
we
got
we
a,
have no monies in those categories right now.
And
And just to give you an idea, with the changes that I have just made today, we're over $24,941.19
Over
for
the
next
budget,
year, over budget.
Negative.
for next year.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, with that said, we are gonna have a prior year's use in general funds.
that's
So I'm not-
50,000.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's what it's estimated.
Now that's
We got
roads,
some
that's
carryover,
roads.
right.
Well, let's see. Now that was this last year.
The carryover.
but that's something
No,
too,
no.
we haven't
So we'll
spent.
have about 50
I mean, if
grand.
it's in there, we don't, if it's in there and we don't use it, then that deduction will
Yeah, it's
go.
Well,
carryover.
that's including the 50,000. So what I did, what we have done
Page one.
is we only carried over $50,000 last year for general funds.
Mhm.
Even doing that, we're still gonna be over $24,000 in general-
1,000 in the whole.
in the hole.
That's right, and that's with 0 for ETJ removal,
Right.
0 for zoning map updates, and 0 for annexation map updates. I mean, we've not even plugged numbers in there yet, we're already negative, so.
Yeah.
And
And-
it's-
And
Is it-
just for, I want everybody to understand something. If you look at our budget, this is a very extremely lean budget. We don't have any extra stuff in there. And I encourage everybody to look at the budget. And if you see something, please tell us, where you think we can save money. And also remember that every year, our general expenses go up 10% every year. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just the way the world works.
Can I ask you a question about 5670's titled disannexation map update? Who's disannexed?
I
think that's meant to be.
That was-
That's
ETJ
ETJ removals.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
not
think there's a-
disannexation. That's the ETJ removal.
I
right,
think
so
the
that
category-
probably category needs to come
Yeah,
from.
let's rename that. Or, yeah,
Well,
that
just delete it,
comes
'cause
out.
it's
Yeah.
already covered by ETJ
Yeah.
removal.
Now, I think originally what that was annexation.
Okay.
Could be.
Okay.
And we had
But
one
we
of
don't
those
charge anything.
2 years
to
ago.
We
annex.
had it
Yeah.
done 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
ago. but-
Now, there is an issue that was brought up by the engineers, just, let me just say it, throw it out there. On our map, we have about 40 half moons at the end of each of the roads. Some of them are quarter moon, eighth of a moon, or half moon. There are about 40 of those. Talking to the engineering, and we spent hours discussing this. One thing that we can do, because, the survey, they reconfirmed what the other engineering firm says, 350,000 is not outside the realm of reality.
How much?
Huh?
What'd you say?
150,000
350,000.
do an
for the
on-the-ground
survey.
survey.
Now, believe it or not, each one of these half moons, because you're surveying a circle. What he said is, if we could eliminate those, okay, 40 of them, he says you could save yourself anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 per half moon.
Yeah, but it doesn't work
It's
that way. I mean,
48,000. It's somewhere between 48,000 and $60,000 if we eliminate it.
Yeah, that's our official map.
Yeah.
Until it isn't, and
Yeah.
we don't have the freedom to change anything.
Yes, we do. We actually do. I've got the letter if y'all want to see it.
Yeah, I think we gotta be careful of that, because that
No.
moves people in and out of the town. and-
Moves them out,
This
doesn't move them in.
I checked with TML attorney, and we can. The 4 square miles is only when you incorporate. Once you incorporate, all bets are off. You can massage it in and out of that 4 square miles. Okay? Now, and there's some stipulations and some rules, so this is TML. Read this, and there's some document. Also, she sent me, Stephanie.
Well, Devil,
Okay, well, we
before
don't-
we
yeah,
get,
we don't wanna-
before we
We're
get
getting a
into,
little out of whack.
yeah, let's,
Yeah, we
But
don't want to go
just
down
let
the
you
detail,
know.
but suffice it to say, it would impact the
It would,
cost.
it'd help you to
Right.
plug some numbers into the budget.
So theoretically, it would.
Yeah. Right,
So savings up to 60,000.
48 to 60,000 bucks
for,
if we just took those out,
just took which ones out?
The bubbles.
the bubble,
The bubbles,
Make it just a square.
engineering,
Okay.
straight line.
Straight line.
that's the
something.
engineering work.
Because most of those points
Yeah.
are in the middle of the road. And
What we'll do is we're not doing any surveys anytime soon,
Right.
so we got time to think about that, so.
But from a budget standpoint, I just wanted to throw it out.
One other category that, I'm a little iffy about is our software subscriptions, which is 5780, and it's on page 3, kind of just below what we were just talking about. We
What's the
had-
line item?
5780, top of page 3.
Okay, I got it. Uh-huh.
Our software subscriptions, they go up about 10% every year. We didn't, when I look at, what we spent so far, let's see. So I'm gonna move that up to $3,000. And I've already included that in the bottom, I think I'm
What's the category?
5780.
5780.
67.
57, page.
So why aren't we
Page
doubling
3.
that if we typically see a 10% increase?
So you're
Well-
moving it from 1,300 to 3,000?
Yes,
We're-
because,
We spent
so,
118% already out of that line.
Okay,
right,
there you go.
That's what we're looking
yeah.
at.
Okay. And that's our Microsoft Office. all
Microsoft
those-
Office, payroll software,
Okay.
Intuit, website,
Okay.
all that stuff.
Fair enough.
Okay.
How much
Well,
is it?
website
The
is different-
website has
different
its own category.
Website has its own category, but here's the thing. If we are over budget a little bit on a category, that just gives us more money at the end of the year if we need to amend something.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions?
And one of the things that's causing our budget to go up is basically just as anybody else in an individual household. It's the insurances that we're, trying
Insurance is
to,
a big one.
we have added, or the insurance that we got to keep going, that keep going up, so, that's one of the things we've been
Insurance is a
So
big-
just
predicting, if you will, but
So
it's hard
just
to
to
do.
kind of give you an idea from this year. So if you look at the total expenses from this year, it's $360,356.44. You increase that by 10%, there's $36,000 right there.
Yeah.
That's why,
But we're not increasing our revenues or income stream by 10%.
exactly.
We've had slight increases. I was fixing to add them up, but you can just look at the basic
Yeah.
numbers, but we're not having that kind of increase.
No, we're not having a 10% increase at all. Maybe 3%.
Yeah, I try to look at this stuff like a business. I have a household budget, which we really don't work on a budget, but in that philosophy mindset, stuff goes up, and you hope your job has cost of living increases and all that.
Yeah.
Budgeting our business increases, as your products go up, you pass it along to the customer, but we don't have that ability.
Right.
Where do we overcome the income deficit? And the only way we have that tool is to reduce expenses somewhere.
Right.
We don't have any other tools.
Save our way.
Right,
Save our way to it.
right.
So as we work through this, I know y'all poured a lot of time into sharpening y'all's pencils and getting these right, but at the end of the day, I think we're gonna have to make some tough cuts, and I would lean on y'all to tell us, where those cuts could be. But to your point that software went up 100, or we're at 118% already,
Right.
that's probably going to be a repeatable expense.
Exactly.
So
Now,
And we're over in utilities right now because we had
turn it back up.
mishaps at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of our term. That's fixed, but that's included, so that's why you're seeing an increase in utilities. That should settle down this next year.
Electric specifically
Yeah.
is what.
Okay.
So Tracy, so total income shown on page 2, 1132616. That's over $1 million.
That's 750,000 is a grant.
Yeah,
Oh, you got the grant
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
So you
you.
gotta take
Yeah, if we had 1.1 million in
we'd,
income,
we'd be all right. But, you know,
doing the
and,
jig.
and to that point, you know, and Mike might talk to this a little bit. How far does that 750,000 go? And
And
how much pavement is that for us?
About 2,500 feet.
Yeah, about
Okay.
2,500 feet.
and
So
so
less than a half a mile?
Yes,
Yeah.
well, 20,
Uh,
yeah.
it's almost it's a mile of road, but a mile of road is a lane mile. We have 2-lane roads.
Okay, yeah,
So when someone says it costs $750,000 a
Roughly half a
mile,
mile.
it's a half a mile of
Yeah.
roads.
okay.
So Tracy, with all these adjustments, then total net income, this shows here negative 15,141.
Yes,
What
but
is that number now?
it's $24,941.19.
24,900.
$941.19.
Okay. 25,000.
Yeah. Now, there's gonna be, so let's say we get the 50,000 in excess funds to pull over to this year, which we already have in here. The only other thing that's gonna change is we're gonna have, I estimated about $149,000 for the road fund. But that doesn't do us any
It
good in the
doesn't.
general fund.
That's right. That's right.
Those are encumbered funds.
So luckily we got a packed crowd. We'll just start passing the plate every meeting.
There you go.
So Tracy, then
Where's the usher?
when we pass this budget in September, that 25,000, we have to make zero somehow.
It's gotta be zero.
Yeah.
Has to be zero.
We can't
Yeah.
do an unbalanced.
And it's gonna be tough. So let's talk about some things real quick.
Yeah, so how you gonna do it?
Yeah, let's talk about how we do
We'll
this.
flip a coin.
Right. So we didn't have a whole lot of choice but to increase the salaries of the secretaries because it's an election year and we've got to do elections. And we have to be open.
Which
So
is
that,
hours worked.
Yes.
It's not
Correct.
a
Yeah.
salary increase, it's just more hours worked.
all right. Office supply. So where are we at on office supply? We've spent 860. Well, it's more than that. Doug,
Yeah.
office supplies, what have we spent?
Yeah, hang on.
5,100. What's our actual?
We've spent $1,048.20
Okay.
as of this month's report
All right, so
15.
1,500 is gonna be
there.
close.
for the year.
Yeah.
What number was that? I
Office
saw it and I brought it
equipment.
up to 61.
So
5-1.
I put $3,500 in office equipment because we need 2 new computers. And we might not have to buy those years. We might not get to buy those this year.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's a number that is questionable.
Maybe
The
just
steering
5-1.
committee, that's a Mike. I mean, is that something that we have to do?
Well, it got everybody a discount on their electric bill that's in Encore, so I think
But
it's worth it.
would that have happened if we weren't part of it? And we have Coffin and Hunt County's part of
Well,
it?
we would certainly benefit from it,
Sure,
no doubt, but I don't know. I mean, we could,
But one of the things too we looked at were the form. Public
that's going
form.
away.
that's
Yeah,
going
we're gonna-
away. That we didn't
We're not
include-
using
we
it.
didn't
There's no
include
reason
that.
to
I mean, it's 124%, but yet we budgeted very little because it's always been tossed around in meetings.
Yeah.
So that's one that we really wanted. So I mean, we can start picking at it after tonight, what we're doing. And if anything else, then we come back and go like, well, we want to get everybody's.
I mean, I think we've got to, continue to do a good job of keeping legal expenses to a minimum. We can't
Right.
control lawsuits, but
Right.
for our use of the lawyer for other purposes.
Yeah.
We want to try to keep that down as low as we can.
the TML membership, that's a must. We have to have
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And that's
General
money.
dues and memberships, we can bring that down some more. We can bring it down to 400 if y'all want to bring it, cut it in
By
half.
by doing what?
What have we spent this year?
Well, So we added in here the Chamber of Commerce integral, which is $300.
Cut it.
The secretaries have memberships to, it's called the Secretary Association or something like that. I think that's $125 a year. And they need that
That's what
because
to say,
that's where
they
get all
send us a lot of
relevant info.
information
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah.
Keeps them
They stay up with the
abreast
law
of
and
what's
stay up
going
with
on.
the-
Yes.
Yeah, that's a must.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think that's a critical one.
So,
That's quarter.
And, well, Tracy, the item 5600, the professional services, 30,000.
mhm.
Is that somewhat discretionary too?
Yes, it is discretionary, and that's, so Dale just said we can pay $2,000 in this year's budget. The thing about the $30,000 this is just my opinion, is I think we're wise to keep money in the professional services in case we ever need it. There could be potentials for lawsuits because we haven't released our ETJ out of the map yet. And that's a must. That's something we have to do. We know that is,
Well, I was fixing to ask you,
Right, but
do you
that-
remember that cost of the ETJ removal?
I think it was 35.
$35,000.
But that's not shown in here.
Well, that would be under the professional services.
Yeah.
It'd be part of it.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
I know, it's just, that's a big number.
I know.
Looking for 25,000.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not gonna do it $50 at a time. It's gonna have
Yeah.
to be bigger increments.
Yeah.
So,
Now, one of the other ones is down at 5830 legal
Well,
documents.
before we get on that, let's talk
figure out what
about
we're
general dues. Do we want to reduce that by half?
general dues?
General dues and membership,
Where
So
is
right
that?
now we have secretaries and the Terrell Chamber of Commerce.
not North Texas COG.
We gotta be a member
Yeah,
of
we
the
gotta
COG
be a
too.
member. Yeah.
Gotta be a member of good standing with the COG. There's so many programs that come through the
Your
COG.
grant will go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, I'm hearing 300 for Texas, or for Terrell Chamber of Commerce right now. Which is good for networking, but we're trying to pay bills, so.
Yeah.
So I would say cut it to
Cut that out.
500.
All right, so let me do this. I'm gonna check with Teresa on memberships and membership costs. And so I can give you where that $800 is actually. I think North Texas COG is 125. I think their membership is $125 a year.
That's 3, and then another 3, 6. So we could
Yeah.
take 2 off of that.
Do we want to keep the steering committee? Y'all need to decide.
Keep the what?
The steering
Steering
committee.
committee, the ones that go against the utilities when they try to increase rates.
What line item is that?
And then we're gonna let the
51,
citizens
35.
speak and
$500?
see if they have any ideas
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
so.
Well, that's
So
not
to
gonna
Mike's
be-
point, that steering committee, we would probably be the beneficiaries, but we would be outside of any communications. And that's
Well, we'd
for
be
half of our,
freeloaders, and we
yeah,
Certainly could be freeloaders, but
and that's for half of our
it's pretty inexpensive.
County.
It saves a decent amount on electric bills this
It
year.
does.
So y'all are saying keep it?
I would try.
Let's cut it
Okay.
last.
Okay,
Let's make it a later
Would
cut.
try.
There is benefit to it.
yeah, there is, okay. We reduced shipping and package, now, newspaper publications, you're gonna see that. So
That's
what have we
That's
spent?
required for election. year.
Yeah, we
Yes.
just have to, and they
Yeah,
charge a lot for no more than you get,
Right.
but we don't have
So-
any
and
control over
4,000 might be cutting it very close.
But is that are we gonna have that this next year?
Yeah, we've got 2 elections.
Every year, every time you
Yeah.
pass an ordinance with a fine, you've got to
Okay,
post it. Every
last
time
time
you
you
have
had
a
one
Yes.
28.
certain kind of
Yeah.
hearing, you have to
But,
post it.
but you said too, it's all in the same election day, isn't it?
No, you have an election in November for the sales and use tax, and then we have the
Council
council
election.
elections in May.
Well, you're supposed to also,
Okay, sorry, yeah.
you're also supposed to put the zoning changes in advertising in the
Yeah,
paper.
Yes.
there's a number of things.
There's others, yeah.
Okay. Education, we can reduce that $1,000. I don't know, many of us, like, if I do one, I pay for it out of my pocket.
Yeah, I'm going.
I do too.
Yeah,
Let's
that's-
reduce that to $350.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
pay for my own.
I pay for my own.
Okay.
Well, the other one we ought to look at too, Tracy, is 5910, cyber insurance stuff. You know, we've got an IT group, we've got a lot of tools.
We have to have cyber insurance that comes through TML.
I know, but that's
What's that?
And it's horrible. The
it is, and
insurance-
it's going up and up
yeah.
and up because the claims. are going up.
$2,000,
It's gonna be a lot more
What's
than
the-
that.
What number is that one?
5910.
10.
10.
59, yeah. It was 17,000 or $1,721, I believe, last
It's
year.
going up. They've already warned us. It's,
Yeah.
every time somebody files a claim, they.
Yeah.
And that's required by TML?
It's required by TML. So if we have
Why
a
does the TML offer
cybersecurity,
it?
if we have, what is that called when somebody shuts your system down and you get the
Malware or
piracy?
breach?
Piracy, yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Okay.
insurance covers anything like that happening to us.
If we file a claim, if we don't file a claim, it doesn't cost them a nickel.
Well, the big cost, what happens is when they get those viruses in there, you basically gotta buy new computers.
Right. And so I mean, that's up to y'all. I don't think that's a risk we want to take because we would get no help from TML at all. And if you talk to other cities, even though they've struggled, when they have this insurance, TML is able to get them up and running a lot faster. I'm very confident in our IT group. Very confident.
It'll be interesting to talk to Kaufman because they got wiped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 or 8 months ago. They tore down every computer they had. It'd be interesting to know if TML was any value to them.
Mhm.
I'll ask them. That would be
Okay.
interesting.
And I think Trump County had some problems too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kaufman definitely did. They took a long time to even get their phones working.
So 5801 revised annexation, I don't know why that's in there. I'm gonna just put a question mark and ask Teresa about that.
The good news, it's zero. So
Yeah.
not taking
Let
up
me
any
ask something.
funds.
I was having a little trouble with the whole legal expenses.
Okay.
I get the lawsuit, but outside of that, so we are legal documents. I mean, aren't we paying our attorneys more?
Well, that's the one I was gonna speak up,
Yeah.
and when everybody wanna move forward, but that is one of the things we wanna combine and not so much, identify it individually.
Okay, but I mean, that's.
Because of the confusion that you're.
So let's
mentioning.
let Mike speak to this. So we know what the lawsuit is. We know what
Yeah.
that is.
That's that.
But we have legal documents and legal other. Can you tell us the difference between the two? So what would,
Well, I don't know because I'm not, Teresa's doing the accounting on these, but the documents, I'm guessing, is preparation of ordinances, resolutions, proofreading.
yeah,
I mean, what we've
And
been doing
other
for the
might
last
be-
year is we come up with the first copy and then we try to clean it up and get it as tight as we can, and then we send it to the lawyer to make sure because
Yeah.
often it has his signature on it, so he wants to make sure that.
so the
So our
amount,
fees for that have been very, very small
Yeah.
for the
But there's
year,
also the, on our bill from the lawyer, there's a line item on, documents of when they have to do things.
Right.
right, and that other might be phone conferences.
Yeah, but I
Could be
think
phone
just
calls.
this month.
Well, the meetings, I mean, the 5810 is meetings, like he attended the executive session
Right,
a while back, that was $170
but
or
that's in,
something. That
that's
was-
in person. Legal other is probably phone calls, is what I'm
Well,
guessing.
copying, again, we had that one the other day where it was, they
Copying,
charge us for copies if they have to make hard copies.
Right.
And I mean, law firms are very efficient in terms of recovering
So
costs.
honestly, I would just kind of leave that alone. I wouldn't, I trust Teresa and she knows how to,
Well, those numbers are relatively small,
Yeah.
except for the lawsuit, and
Yeah.
that's a complete unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an absolute guess. We
Yeah.
have no idea. It could be anything from 0 to that and
Okay.
more, so. Okay, well, let's start winding down unless council has anything else big to let our citizens, we got quite a few that want to
Yeah.
speak on this and the next one. I want to make sure we have plenty of time. Shelley Smith, did you want to speak on this item?
Forgive me if I'm not following along, but is there?
It's a boring topic.
That won't help, trust me.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere in there where you've budgeted for the on the ground survey?
No, we
No.
don't have any dollars in that yet. That's what we were talking
Yeah.
about, so.
Okay.
Not
All
yet.
right, that's what I was curious about. Thank you.
Okay, and Blake, you signed up for, Blake?
Yeah, I'll go
Oh, sorry, go
in
ahead.
the next one.
Okay, so you want to pass on this one?
Oh, that's a different Blake.
Blake Craig,
Yeah, that's me.
that's you? Okay. So you actually want to talk on two? On,
Now I'll go on the
zoning?
next page. No, on the
Regular agenda?
regular agenda.
Okay, anybody else that did not sign up want to speak on the budget item before we close it out, move over to the zoning updates?
Okay, can I say something
Yes.
real quick? So this is to everybody listening and everybody here in the audience today. We are no good without you, and we rely on you to give us feedback on our budget, how we're spending our money, and how we're maintaining our roads. It's all a community effort. So if you see something after you've had time to digest what we've talked about today, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you.
Good job,
All
Teresa.
thoughts and opinions
Early.
are
Yeah.
valued.
Yes. Will you come up to the microphone?
Yeah, just so we, can for the internet people.
Candy Fletcher, poetry. Are we allowed to ask questions during this time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the grant a for sure thing? I hear you talking about
It
the
is.
750. It is for sure for next year's budget. Okay. And is the lawsuit still going on right now?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not finished. And does our 1.5% sales and use tax, if our address is still Terrell on our driver's license,
Doesn't make any difference.
it doesn't make any
That's your
difference?
mail.
It's-
route.
That's just a
It was
mail
your
route.
mail route.
Okay, okay, because I know that was a question.
So the last four digits on your postal code, zip
Okay.
code, that's what the sales and use tax is
Yeah,
tagged
the-
to.
Okay, okay. I feel guilty every
No,
time.
no.
Every time I
No,
do it,
man.
I'm like, I should get that changed
Yeah.
so they
Well,
get
and
the
I
one
think,
and
I
a
think we
half.
actually
Okay.
have some people in poetry that have Royce City mail routes
Yeah.
and things. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just based on your mail route.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where your mail comes
People
out.
in
It's
the
nothing to
northern
do
end
with
of
the
town.
city you live in. We don't have a post office, so we.
Yeah.
right. Okay,
we can't
Thanks,
claim
Candy.
ourselves. Okay.
Mayor, can I make a comment on the grant? I can
Yes.
talk to us, but people can listen. I don't know if everybody understands, the grant amount is correct, 750,000, but I don't know if some folks realize that our portion of that grant was $37,000, that when we're sitting here doing the budget, that's what we're also having to include when we're talking about deficits and things like that, is $37,500. And what we've been able to do through the research and the planning of the budget is we do have 2 years to break that off. So it's a matter like we're now focusing on $18,000, some change, for this coming up year. And then the next year will be, so it's a 2-year thing that we're have to pay our portion of the grant. So I don't know if a lot of people really understood that, and I just want to clarify
Yeah,
that.
so the 750 is new money to us, the 37.5, which is what we agreed to match when we turned in our application. That's 5% match is our money. That's money from the town of Poetry going away, so. I think he got something to say too.
Okay.
Sir,
Adam Lee Poetry.
What's your name?
Adam?
Adam?
Lee?
Adam Lee. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Can I get a copy of what you're forecasting and what you're budgeting for, and actually a list of what the actuals are?
Yes. Absolutely. If you go on the town website
Uh-huh.
and you go under today's meeting, you can copy every financial record that we
they're
have,
all-
our bank
there's
statements.
something there
everything.
called the meeting packet,
Packet,
and
yeah.
it has all of this in it. You'll have the
Yes.
budget, you'll have the actuals, you have the bank account,
Right.
everything.
I'm on a board already, and we do the same thing of what you're doing, and a lot of what you're talking about, I understand because we did the forecasting for all that also. But I like to put some puzzle pieces together to see what actuals are and what really could be
We
beneficial
would
for the
love
community.
another
Yep.
set of eyes on it.
Okay.
All the
Yep.
help we can get.
All
And
right.
if you have any problems, you can email Mike.
Yeah, reach
or
out to
whatever.
me
Yeah.
or secretary and we'll get you. But again, just
Yeah.
poetrytexas.org. Go to the meetings
one word.
section, go to this meeting tonight, the packet, and it'll have all
All
of the
that.
documents we're discussing tonight in it.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate it.
Okay, audience happy? Okay, for the moment. I know you're not happy. But hey, you came out to hang out with us.
That's right.
I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. Okay, number 2, workshop agenda update, discussion of current status of zoning advisory committee draft or proposed update. So as we announced many months ago, we've got a committee. 2 council members are on it, Councilmember Anderson and Bryant, and then a number of citizens.
Tom,
And they've been meeting
Tom,
once a month.
did you get this?
Those meetings are public, they're streamed, they're recorded, and they're basically, we're not making any changes to the ordinance. We're just looking at if we were to make changes to it, sort of clean up, what would those be? When we get to what we think is a good draft, then we're going to do public hearings and newspaper notices and all of the process that's required by law before we would make any changes to it. Until then, the ordinance that was passed back in '24 is law and will continue to be law and applied accordingly. But we wanted to take a moment tonight to give Dale and others an opportunity to just kind of talk about some of the things that they found in the ordinance that they're going to propose and whatever we consider going forward. So
Yeah, and
no changes tonight. Nothing is
yeah,
changing.
nothing
We're
changes.
not
We're
changing.
just talking.
We're just talking.
Again, the committee is just gonna make a recommendation, and the council gets to look at everything at some point when a semi-complete document. But, there's a couple of things, again, we're a new town, and one of the big issues that we're running into is the whole grandfather clause. In theory, everyone's grandfathered in. But now what we're seeing is, as a result of our boundaries of the town, what we have inadvertently created is a number of lots that are less than 1 acre, just simply because of the zoning. And there were some existing lots that were less than that for various reasons. So what we've tried to do, and what we want to talk to the council about, and again, we got nothing better to think about, is to create a single family one, and that's just a name we're giving it now. It doesn't mean that has to be the name that the council would decide the name. But what it is for lots of less than 1 acre at the time of incorporation. And what we looked at doing, it was just kind of unique, I guess, if y'all all have a copy of this. Okay, is the key to it is that first bold sentence. This is a closed zoning classification. In other words, we're not going to allow any new less than 1 acre lots in town. We're just going to create a path that if by incorporation or grandfather, you're less than 1 acre, you're going to have the right to complete that. But it also says if that tract of land is less than 1 acre and it's vacant and you decide to improve it, then you come to zoning. You have to make an application, come through the zoning process, and we'll have setbacks and things like that for those lots of less than 1 acre.
For clarification, is this 1 acre inside the town limits or 1 acre of the total property?
In town limits, because that's the only thing that we've incorporated.
We have in jurisdiction.
We haven't incorporated ETJ,
So if I have 500 acres and the town cut off a quarter
one of
of
those
it,
little half
That would be
moons,
my house.
Yes.
That would be mine.
I can't build on that quarter. I have 500 acres and I can't build on that corner.
correct.
Bull.
Well, but that's why, no, I agree. You can, but you've got to come to council with it. But that's why a lot of those you're talking about are the half moons. If we clear that problem up, we can save a lot of people the headache. But you're right, it is kind of crappy.
So I know there's been a lot of conversation. I won't berate the point of mother track and all that. Why can we not use that? And maybe there's a legal defining
There is.
word that we can use. Why can't we not use the contiguous piece of property as opposed to looking at the,
In some instances, you're correct, we could, but if all we really have jurisdiction over is
Get
what
that.
is in the town.
I get that.
And but that's where those property owners would come in, or we would identify them, look at them, and go through basically a board of adjustments and try to make a decision that would leaning towards the interest of the property owner, if that makes sense.
That sounds great in definition and,
Oh, yeah,
and by
tough.
this council. We're not always going to be this council.
No, and that's why.
We're not going to be the
No,
adjustment
you're
board.
exactly right. The first council with zoning is the one who always deals with the grandfather issues. And that's what we're in. 5 years from now, you'll never, hardly ever see one.
I'll tell you when you see it, when I deed a piece of property to my daughter and it's the front corner of that property, that's when you're going to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
And if we're trying to build a heritage
Down the road.
family, heritage community, that's a
But-
problem.
And one of the issues we're gonna talk about, and I don't know if we really want to take time tonight, is on the ag zoning. Okay? The way our ordinance is written right now, under ag, you can divvy it up in 2.5 acres. And you can also build a church, a community center, all these other issues. And what that's doing through our testing and stress testing and everything, what's happening is that's going to give developers an opportunity to use and abuse this. So what we're, and this issue, I want you to just be thinking about it. What we're looking at and contemplating is maybe what we do with ag, like most towns do, is ag becomes the least intensive zoning you can have. That makes sense. That allows the heritage families to continue doing what they're doing with the ag. But by making it ag and taking out all of those other uses that's in our zoning ordinance, get rid of them. That way, if a developer, because quite honestly, my 10 acres, your 8 acres, your 50, developers aren't coming for that. They're going to come for the
500, 200.
heritage families. They're coming for the farms. That's what's going to happen. So what we do is make it all, ag zoning would be the most intense zoning we have. You can't do anything in ag but ag.
Can't live on ag?
You can live there. You can do whatever you're doing on ag. You can build houses. What we would do, what most towns do, is they widen out the setbacks. So inside the farm, you could pretty much do everything you want to do. But the minute you come and want to split something off, then you have to come to zoning and make that request. But what that's going to do, again, our whole purpose originally was
So
to
would that
keep the
be
developers
would
out.
that be a zoning change? Or
Yeah, you would change zoning. Ag is just that, ag. As long as you're farming and ranching, knock yourself out.
But,
Not a
that's an issue that we weren't ready to bring to the council today yet.
No,
That's
no.
a different one.
Yeah,
No,
that's a
this is
different
an issue to get the council start thinking about it, because you brought it
Well,
up.
but we want to give them a piece of paper,
Right,
and that's
we
going to
will.
be at another meeting.
Okay.
But we're
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
throwing it out there so that you
It's
you
coming
can
soon.
be thinking
Yeah.
about it. And when we do, or if you have comments, call us.
Yeah.
We'll
And,
take
you
those
know,
things into.
I've kind of come to the conclusion, and I've seen this in a lot of other towns. A zoning ordinance is just a guide, okay? Because most towns issue variances, change zoning, and all that stuff. It's a guide. This is what we would like, and things change as we evolve.
Now,
Well, but it
And-
allows people to know what to expect. The-
Yes.
The difference with us and a lot of those other towns is most of us moved here with no zoning
Right.
and woke up one morning and
With
had
zoning.
zoning. So
Right. Exactly.
it's,
Well,
Exactly.
it's
but
an
I guess
adjustment.
the one question I had, there's 3 places in here, and I agree with the concept, but that when it all happened or triggered, did it happen with incorporation, or did it happen with
A lot
March
of
of
it happened.
24 when the
March
ordinance-
21st of 24?
Right.
And my understanding, the way it's written here, what you're looking at, it's not incorporation, it's March 21st of 24, but I'm not a lawyer, So that's my non-legal view of it.
Yeah, when we get further down the road, we'll get the
Yeah, this
lawyer
is
to
just
look at
the
it.
concept layer
But,
plan.
but I think all those three places on A, B, and A and B, that really we're talking about March 21st, not of 24, not the date of incorporation.
That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, put the zoning date in there, that's fine.
And,
I brought the
But
agriculture up
maybe
because
both.
of the,
I'm sorry?
I brought the agriculture piece up because of these smaller lots that,
Yeah.
that we're
Yeah.
gonna see.
Right.
Yeah, which brings up the bigger conversation for y'all to have later is there's not gonna be a lot of people in this town that have ag if we're only
No,
going to that
and-
311 feet line.
Again,
That's
that's
right. We
why
talked
we're
about that
bringing it
too.
up.
Your farm just got a lot smaller.
Be chewing on it.
But
because,
the-
yeah,
The idea we were talking about is kind of like, how do you eat an elephant one at a time?
yeah.
It's
But
just to
that's-
get a couple of
that's
things
why
this
when
time.
we
Exactly.
reduce those half moons, we're gonna clear a lot of that up.
So-
Okay, the other one, real quick, the other one is plan development, PD zoning. And again, this is a closed zoning. You cannot add, once we identify them all, you cannot add properties to this PD zoning. And it's simply a tool which we've already ran into, and we've had to go back and redo it, is it's when you have a tract of land that has an existing subdivision that has deed restrictions at the time of incorporation, and we've overlaid zoning on top of those deed restrictions. Just like our Board of Adjustments and things we've had to do before. Now what we've got to do is go through there and try to figure out the best solution, primarily leaning towards the citizens. Again, one of the big things with doing it this way is in future councils, future staff, somebody comes in, I want to do this in my property. Where are you located? Oh, you're PD. The light comes on and says, you're zone PD 101. And that immediately tells the staff and the council that there's something going on more than zoning. And so that's going to keep us out of trouble more than anything, is to identify that. Because the people that live in deeded subdivisions, they're just as grandfathered in as the horse farm.
right.
So
You know, and-
everybody in a subdivision, which there's not been any since incorporation, will be PD.
If they were a subdivision at the time of zoning and or,
Okay,
right.
so now you're taking their ag away.
No,
And then when I say that, I'm not talking
No.
about tax.
no. We're
They
not gonna
still
take
have the
that.
ability to do ag on those properties.
No, because you're right. What's going to happen now on the other categories, if they have ag, they're going to do it. What we're thinking about is on the big ag, the grandfathers, the ones we want to leave alone, is maybe up that acreage to something, 25 acres, 30 acres, something, up it to protect the heritage.
I
And
think-
then in these other classifications, you would have the right to do, let's call it we haven't really come up with a word for it, call it hobby farm. You can still hobby farm, and you can get, as long as you can get ag from the taxing authority, you should be able to keep ag. Where you lose that is less than 5 acres.
That's a weird line when you
I
start.
know.
I don't want to bring what the county classifies that piece of property in versus, because you live in Grandy Verde, that's a ranchette community.
Ranchette, there's a good word for it, ranchette.
So there's 2 or 3 horses out there, there's whatever.
Right, that would be
I
a
want
good
this to
classification.
continue to say ag and not PD,
Well, but
because
It's
the
only
use of the
PD.
property is going to matter on which zoning you're
Right.
in.
it's only PD it's only PD because you have the two. We're only
I get that.
identifying the two,
I get that.
and so if your deed restrictions allows animals and the county allows animals, we should allow animals.
Fair enough. So the PD will go to the lesser restrictive
Yeah.
zoning or deed,
No, it will go to the subdivisions.
just the
Yeah.
subdivision.
Just the
Subdivision,
subdivision.
only that in the grandfathered in,
Okay.
no new PD subdivision.
Fair enough.
Now, down the road, 20, 30 years from now, somebody will come in and want to do PD. Town, you see the signs going to Rockwall all the time. Okay, then we would probably take that category, some future zoning committee, take that category, and probably call it PUD, Planned Unit
Unit
Development.
development.
And that would distinguish between future PUDs and PD.
Why can't they just be called deed restricted?
That's your decision. We just,
Cause then that
calling it,
tells staff immediately it's deed restricted property and they need to pull up the
Right.
deed restrictions.
we're just calling it PD zoning for lack of a better name. When it comes to the council, y'all come up with the name, that's fine with us.
Okay.
It just helps us identify what we're talking
I
about.
don't want the future problem of PD versus PUD.
PUD, correct, and I agree with you, change the name, we don't care.
Okay.
It's y'all's decision.
You know, and the realistic thing is, how many properties do we have in Poetry in the city limits? Like 2 acres? You're not gonna have hardly anything in the city limits unless they have a physical building there.
But that's the problem with what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Everything is a problem.
Now, and
Opportunities.
the concept, which Dale and I agree on, where we disagree is there's 3 or 4 places in here where Dale references that the town will be looking at the differences between, or resolving differences between the deed restrictions and the zoning. And Mr. Berman made real clear in his email to you, Mike, is that we have nothing to do with deed restrictions. It's only zoning. In other words, here's our disagreement is Dale's of the opinion that the town should be reviewing this.
So,
I'm the opinion that no, that's the individual property owner that should be looking at his deed restrictions versus zoning.
and I will agree with that, but I do think that the Board of Adjustments should factor that in. Because if they're coming to us for any type of variance, the Board of Adjustments has to look at everything. So if whoever comes to us and says, we have deed restrictions that exceed your planning and zoning, the Board of Adjustments has to look at that.
And this is you referring to the Navarro issue last time.
Well, any
Well,
issue.
and
That's what
and
Board
that's
of
not-
Adjustments does.
Yeah, and I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing with that.
No.
Just saying in what we put into our zoning,
Okay,
and that makes it a legal thing that's going to perpetuate over time, is that I'm against having the statements in there that the town will review.
Which one specifically?
Okay, on A,
Uh-huh.
where you come down to the line 3, where it says, subject to recorded deed restrictions and, well, let's just start off. The Plan Development Zoning District identifies platted subdivisions in the town of Poetry that are subject to recorded deed restrictions and clarifies how these deed restrictions and the zoning ordinance apply to the affected property. See, I took all that out after deed restrictions because my view is that's up to the property owner. Then coming down to C,
Yeah, it
effect of PD zoning. The 3rd line down, it says, town staff and the town council and property owners shall consider both sets of provisions when evaluating proposed use or change in use. I took out, town staff and town council, that for deed restrictions, it's only property owners that need to review that. And then coming
The
down,
next sentence says that.
yes.
Yeah.
The town shall
Oh.
not enforce private deed restrictions.
enforce. So then why even say that up above it?
Well,
Yeah,
if
but
you
that's
look at,
considerable.
if you were to look at, so everybody, the zoning ordinance is a fluid document. It changes constantly. Okay?
Well,
Now
not
what we're-
constantly. It will change, yes.
Yes.
It
But
can be amended,
most-
right.
Most towns now are putting that in there because when Board of Adjustments gets this document, gets the zoning document, and they see plan development, zoning district identifies plat subdivisions within the town of Poetry or whatever town that are subject to recorded deed restrictions, that immediately notifies the Board of Adjustments, okay, we need to check to make sure there's no deed restrictions.
That's how I read it.
Well, see, that's
gonna
where,
get us a lawsuit.
I don't think so.
When we
I
don't.
think that's up to the property owner.
Well, a
And
lot
then-
of towns are changing it to that to avoid lawsuits.
Well, okay.
Okay, well, we'll get a legal
Yeah, we
opinion.
can do
We're
that.
not lawyers,
Yeah.
we'll get a legal opinion. I can tell you, generally speaking, that the counsel we've gotten is that unless the town is named in the deed restriction, and that's not gonna happen, the town has no
Say so.
involvement. If we have a 5 foot from the fence setback and the deed restriction says 10, we're gonna let them build 5 feet from the fence. If they get in trouble with the neighbors or the HOA or
That's
whoever's
them.
enforcing the deed, that's on them. That's not us.
And
They
I
have
agree
to
with
follow
that,
our
but
rules.
I think we can play the government role all day long, but I think we still owe the citizens some explanation. I mean, we sit here for hours and hours studying this. The citizens now got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Exact like a house right down from your road. It was an estate, 2 kids, they were gonna split it. One kid was gonna take the house, the other one was gonna take the barn and all the land. What are your deed restrictions? Well, our deed what are your zoning requirements? 5-foot side setback. You can do that. Okay, we'll do 5, but you have, when a lot of times these citizens don't even know it. So you've got deed restrictions.
Yeah.
You are better off, the deed restriction in this particular instance was a 20-foot setback. Okay, and I said, look, 5 feet to us, we don't care, we're fine.
Yeah.
But if you decide to sell that house and somebody checks the deed restriction, you've got a cloud on title.
Yeah.
You're better off putting a 20-foot setback, you've satisfied the deed restriction, and the town is satisfied. I think we have an obligation to try to tell citizens the best thing to do, because they're gonna go out there like them and do 5 feet. And
Well, I think to Tom's point, though, I don't disagree with the spirit of what you're saying, but I do think we need to be careful of
we do.
codifying it in our document, right? Saying,
That's exactly
and
my
I think we
point.
need to,
And that's why we say the town staff will not enforce private restrictions like those people. Now, this is what it says. You do what you want. They could have done 5 feet, and we're fine.
Yeah.
You messed
And
us
then-
out.
And then at the end of the day, once this is all amended or whatever, Berman will look over it and say, strike this, strike that, whatever
It
our town
may not
attorney
strike,
says
we may
to
just
do.
have to go back to the,
Right, but I guess I'd still come down, I agree with Dale that this PD zoning or whatever we call it has a purpose. And so I'm not against the purpose of it. It's just the semantics of,
well, and remarkably, one of the things I realized when I started looking at the appraisal district maps is we have a lot of planned developments. in
Yes.
A lot, but
Yeah.
probably
A lot.
probably 15.
Probably a dozen or 15
Yeah,
in the town. I mean, you don't realize they're there, but it explains why all the lots are the same
Yes.
shape and the same size and all that. They're
Yeah.
planned developments.
but if you turn it over, also understand that a lot of these subdivisions, they're aging out.
Yeah.
You take Grande Verde, for instance, I think they age out in 29. Hidden Oaks great ages out in about 2030. And that's why we also have a provision. If you age out, you automatically go ag and you have to come back, or we will have to look at it and do all the rezoning type thing. Because that's gonna happen. That's what's gonna make this issue eventually go away, is that most of these subdivisions, quite honestly, they'll just age out. Nobody's enforcing much anyway, so.
Okay, well, good discussion. I appreciate you and everybody else's efforts. And again, to the citizens and those listening to the recording, these meetings that Dale and Tom and citizens are having are open to the public. We certainly
Please come.
invite your comments. Please show up. If you hear them online and have ideas, email them to
Yeah.
Tom or one of the members, because again, we want to try to factor in, we don't have a patent on expertise in this area. We just believe after a year of applying the current zoning ordinance, there are a couple of things that could use some improvement, because we're having somewhat awkward conversations with citizens about what they can and can't do, and we're not trying to undo the ordinance. It's just a little bit.
and then Mike, what our discussion at one point was, do we wait until we're finished with everything to bring it, or do we do it piecemeal? And so what we decided, and I think we all agree on that, is bring in a few each time to keep from having overwhelming discussion.
Yeah, I think
I like
to
that.
update us.
Yeah.
Now, the actual update to the ordinance, if and when we do that, do it all at once, because we have to go through
Right.
public hearings, we have to put it new, I mean,
And then,
it takes exactly the same steps to adjust the ordinance or amend it as it did to create it. I mean, we have to go through exactly the same steps.
and that will, at the end, hopefully before the end of this year, we'll have that all into one document for the council to debate and do whatever.
It's
But
done
we just
whatever
don't
it's
want
done.
to dump it on you in 6 months.
I mean, in the meantime, we're doing the best we can to interpret it and keep people's thoughts, and it's.
Because
tell
I
you it's a
can't
little
understand why
sketchy.
nobody comes to those meetings. It's so interesting and entertaining.
It's like talking about
It's
budgets.
important stuff, but
Yes, it's right there with budget.
Yeah.
okay, so on this item, we have a couple of people signed up. Herbert and Candy, you're signed up. Pass, okay. Jonathan Blake? Pass. Okay, Jonathan's passing, thank you.
One of the things that I just want to mention is, and again, I'll bring it up, which I'll be willing to help work with Dale and Tom and whoever. But I'm thinking we're putting out an ordinance resolution here, we're putting out another one here and putting one out here. We need to somehow make it cohesive and put these things together as one when they relate to zoning or subdivisions or whatever, instead of going like this and this, because people are moving in town or trying to move in town. Number one, they don't know that we're in town, you know, but, and I'll say the dirty word, but I'm not saying it's a revenue deal or say, but if we could have some sort of process, if you're gonna build, just come do a permit, open it up, say, here's a permit, so we can give them the information, you know, so that way it comes in the beginning and not drive by and see a concrete slab being built or even framed up. They may or may not know the restrictions, and I'm just throwing that out there because that's another futuristic thing we can throw in as we move down the road.
Agreed. Okay, any other comments, council, before we close this one out? Okay, for timestamp purposes, I'm gonna call that the end of the workshop at 6:45. Council, anybody need a quick break? Raise your flags, you need a quick break? Sure. Okay, we're gonna do a 5-minute recess for final vote or whatever.
Bathroom lights.
Short, I'm gonna call us back in session at 6:49. We are going to items of community interest. And as you see on the agenda, I'm just basically going to read them off. We're still accepting donations for the Ag Scholarship. Anybody feeling generous and would like to contribute, thank you to the people that have already donated. Applications were due by June 4th. I do not know if we've received any applications. So I can't really give you any update, but if you want to get yours in late, talk to us because we'd probably accept it. Poetry Community Picnic coming up on Saturday, June the 27th. That is not an official town event. That's a couple of our citizens have put it together, and very grateful for that. It's going to be at the Campground Cemetery at the new pavilion they built where the church used to be, at the end of the road here, and you can look at the Poetry Town website for details. I think it's one of those crock pot things where everybody bring a little something and potluck, and we'll eat good.
What do you call it?
Number 3, bingo night. If you're so inclined, I'm told by Dr. Haran that bingo night tomorrow is canceled. So if you were going to bingo night, you might want to check. I tried to verify that before we started tonight, but she didn't answer me. So I'm going with, because she's going to be at Life Group with me tomorrow night, that there is no bingo, as she said. So, but I'm guessing future bingos will go on as expected. And finally, thanks to Hunt and Coffin counties again for their ongoing support of our road maintenance through our interlocal agreements. Okay, moving on to reports. You have your normal group of financial documents in front of you. Nothing particularly exciting. We had one little issue on our bank account, and I didn't send this to the public because it's just not that interesting. But we had a citizen of the town who was given a refund check back in 2022. I guess probably found it on their refrigerator and ran to the bank to cash it. And it turns out, because it was a refund, after so much time, we send that money to the state of Texas, and it becomes part of that list where you can see if you're going to get rich because somebody left you a bunch of money. And so when they went to the bank didn't look at the date. They just cashed the check, charged us. No, the good news is it's only $29.44. The bank is going to refund us the money, but it was, if that's the worst financial problem we have this year, we're in pretty good shape. But the process is supposed to be, for that old of a check, it's been turned over to the state. You're supposed to go to the state and they pay you. So minor issue. We're doing pretty good on our escrow accounts. Although I'll talk in a minute about road stuff. I'm getting ready to, Terry and Tom and I spend some of that money so we can continue working on roads. Any questions, council, on any of the financials? No. Okay. I appreciate the hard work that Teresa puts into those, and the fact that they're now they're PDFs instead of scanned documents, so I can actually read them.
I would point out the sales and use tax revenue that we have 109,000 in our road fund balance and 93,000 in our general balance, 202,000 total.
We're not
Yeah.
broke
So-
yet.
Huh?
We're not broke yet. Yeah,
No, lights are staying on.
that's right.
Don't have enough to get through next year, but we're okay for now.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out, Tom.
Okay, roads and traffic update. I don't know if any other council have anything. I have a quote from Hunt County to do level up work on 2432. And I'm looking forward to getting that done. That's 150 tons of hot mix. That's 6 trailer loads, 18-wheeler loads put out. We're going to do what's called level up, and that's where we take sections where the shoulder is collapsed or there's just, dozens or hundreds of potholes that have been fixed. And we just kind of go over the top of it with 3 or 4 inches of asphalt and make, for a few hundred feet, make that like a new road. So we'll pick the worst. It's 6 truckloads, so we'll probably pick 6 or 8 spots along that road between the city limit and 1565 and level those up. And then next up for work is 2434, because that's another high traffic road. A lot of us use that, not just me, but a lot of y'all, to get to Rockwall. And it's down past Tom's, and it's getting pretty rough. And so that will be the next one that I get them to quote. Again, I'm having to kind of pace us a little bit with them because it takes a lot of their resource, and I don't want to overdo our welcome with them, but very appreciative of that. On the Kaufman County side, if you have something, please don't share it now, but send me a note or tell one of us. But the only one I've really got hot in Kaufman County is 323, the road right out front here, which is like disintegrating. So we're gonna get a proposal from them to do a little more work on it, start bringing it up, especially from here to 986. It's getting hard to miss all the holes. There's just way too many of them. Traffic, I haven't seen any issues with traffic lately. The county constable, sheriff, I mean, they're all out here, dropping in from time to time, and I'm very appreciative of that because some of us are driving a little fast and need to be reminded. And then lastly, I met with TxDOT a week or so ago about one of the intersections on 1565 that needs some work. And this was the Paris group. So this is the Hunt County end of 1565. And as many of you know, they're getting ready to resurface that either the end of this month or first part of next. So from Hunt County down 1565 to 276 is going to get a new top. And so that'll be nice. I don't know when Kaufman is going to do their end, and the mowers are headed back. So the shoulders of 1565 should be getting mowed pretty quickly. I think that's it for me. Terry, anything? Tom, any updates?
Well, I went to the COG general meeting the other day for Mike and got overwhelmed.
Got a steak dinner?
Yeah, I had a wonderful lunch, but boy, there's 140 voting members. I was one. So, and we lost.
Well, it was City of Dallas and Plano. I mean, it was all the big guys there, and we're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was basically about, according Judge New, it was basically about how do they divvy up the money, the federal money that goes to DART and other areas.
Yeah.
So it
Transportation.
was a big discussion.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a whole different world of politics. Doug, anything?
No, sir.
Report?
I'm good.
Dale?
On the signage project, I still got about a dozen roads that I'm gonna meet with Hunt County 911 so we can try to work out, because there's some discrepancies in the road numbers or the names or things like private road versus county road. So I'm gonna work through those, about a dozen roads, get that worked out. And then I'm also now started working on the Kaufman County sign project. That's where we're gonna go through. Kaufman County is out of the Dallas district, and where Hunt County is out of the Paris district. So I have to go to a different TxDOT district to work with Kaufman County. And what we're going to focus on for that project, because they have a lot more money. Paris had $280,000 budget, which we got most of that. The Dallas district has almost $7 million budget. So there's a lot more money, but there's a lot more population too. So we're going to go after that. And the focus is going to be on replacing all the signs and doing something at Dollhouse and 986 and Porchy Road, that intersection, possibly lights, more rumble strips or something. But we're going to try to incorporate correcting some of the life safety issues at that intersection. So that's the project. Should be turned in, I think September. We should hear something usually about December.
I have a question. So I know the Paris district, that's a grant.
Yes.
Would the Kaufman or the Dallas
Would be
district
the
be a
same
grant?
program.
Okay.
It's federal funds that give to the state gives it to the districts, and obviously it's mostly for roads and things, and the best person for that is TxDOT to do
Okay.
that. They know all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Tracy?
Nothing, I'm good.
Okay, and public service announcement, since we're talking about intersections, and I know you guys know this, but I'm gonna keep saying it because I don't want anybody to care about getting killed. Treat 1565 and 276 like a four-way stop. It is not a red light, okay? That's a lie. My wife and I were sitting at it last night and getting ready to take off, and a fully loaded 18-wheeler had to be doing 60, 65 mile an hour, came through that intersection probably 3 seconds after the light turned red. And Dollhouse up here, 986 and 3486. Treat it like there's a stop sign on 986 because people come across there, and I mean, we're having a lot of wrecks there.
Yeah.
Hopefully none of you are involved in it, but please be careful and spread the word because it's unfortunate that's the case, but to deny it may cost you big, so be careful. The rest of our roads, we're not typically going fast enough to kill each other, but those two we are. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda, we have 4 items. We have minutes from May 21st, very short minutes from May 30th. We have a legal bill, which is a little higher than usual, partly because of the lawsuit appeals finding and also the attorney attending an executive session, which we did by phone, so it was only $170, so we saved some money there. And then HUD County elections, and again, that is not the cost for us to be in the election. That's the cost for us
That's an
to
annual
be.
fee.
Yeah, that's an annual fee they charge us if we're ever going to do anything, so we don't have any choice, so. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, Tracy, second?
Second.
Second by Tom, okay, all in favor? Okay, unanimous, thanks to council. Okay, moving on to the regular agenda. First item up is to elect a mayor pro tem for the next 12 months, plus or minus. Our last election was June 19th of 2025, where we elected Mayor Pro Tem Fowler. And so let's see, does anybody want to speak on, I don't know that you want to speak on it, but no, nobody signed up to speak on it. I'll entertain any nominations from the floor for Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll make a nomination for Terry Fowler again.
Okay, have a nomination for Terry.
I'll second.
Okay, second by Dale. Okay, do we, any other nominations? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor of Terry for Mayor Pro Tem? Okay, thank you, council.
Did he need to excuse himself from that?
An annual physical.
I don't know. We'll take his vote away if he's supposed to be out of it. For the record, Terry has done a great job. I've been honored to have him backing me up. He kind of jokingly calls himself the complaint department. Although I'm not quick enough to pass him to him, I start getting involved but he's done a great job and I think he represents the town very well. So I appreciate him a lot in that role. Okay, number 2. Nobody signed up. I don't want to miss any of the audience here. Discuss and take action as needed on master fee schedule ordinance. I think as I said in last month's agenda, by law, any fee that we collect needs to be documented in a resolution or an ordinance somewhere. Okay, and so it came to my attention as I was going through things that we hadn't done a very good job of that. So one way to capture it all, and this seems to be what many cities do, is simply to have a master fee schedule that's established by ordinance that basically documents all of the fees that your town has. So ours are, I'm not going to call them sad because it's actually good that we don't have a lot of fees. But anyway, those are the only fees that I'm aware of that we're charging. And again, some of them are zero, public information and culverts. And so we had a couple of cleanup suggestions from the last meeting. I believe all of those were addressed in the copy, council, that you have in front of you. And so we can discuss whatever you want. We're going to hear from maybe citizens and then ask for a vote. Comment from council?
I have a question. So so we fixed the one thing, the typo on there. That was good. So, but on the fee schedule where it says working right of way and easement permits, can utilities pay that fee too? I know we
Well,
talked
it's
about it.
sometimes, so AT&T came through on the north side of Poetry and buried a lot of fiber recently, and I got onto them about that because they didn't come to us. Well, it turns out they worked out a deal with the state of Texas. So they did an end run around towns like us, and they have a master deal so that we can't charge them or require them to get a permit. And I think out of courtesy, they did fill out a form, but
Okay.
we can't.
Wasn't there a new bill that was just passed? And McAllen sued the state, and Supreme Court threw it out, because they just revised all of that.
I don't know. I
mean, we
can tell
might
you
wanna look
generally
into it.
Austin is taking power away from the cities, period.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
just,
But
that's
we
fact.
might want to take a look at that bill.
Well, that, the
Well,
fee
also
schedule.
FEC and Encore also don't pay to bore under our roads because they pay us franchise fees.
Yes.
You can't double dip them. The purpose is to get their information so we can document it for future councils.
Well, and I think you'd also get in trouble, keeping citizens from getting critical services, right? I mean, if we got in the way of electricity
You
or
can't do it.
That's
water or whatever, I
Yeah.
mean, we would, I
That'd
think
be a
that
little
would be a.
lenient.
I think what,
That would be
my
problematic.
concern is, I've seen some utilities tear up roads, putting in lines. And I mean, that was just one of the questions that I had.
Well, I know on the AT&T thing, again, there were some issues and we've still got one open that Terry's working, but where people were concerned about things and I went to the contractor and they fixed them. I mean, they were very willing. They want good relationships. They want us to buy their fiber service when it lights up. So I found them to be pretty easy to work with, but if you
Now-
want to write a legal document to force them to, I guess that's a whole.
So
nother journey.
so tell me give me an example of what work in the right of way and easement permit would look like.
Well, a
Is that
fiber company
culvert?
like Monster, when Monster came through originally, Grande Verde,
So that was my question. Can we charge them?
some of them, yes.
Some of them, yes.
The smaller they are, the more likely we are to be able to charge them. The bigger they are, the less likely we are to be able to.
They have
charge them.
lobbyists in Austin.
That's
that
right.
handle that.
Yeah, Monster
But
Fiber,
wouldn't
when they
that
came in,
be discriminating?
that's,
I mean, I'm just asking a question.
that's a whole different meeting.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sure
we're
it has
not
to
in-
do with they receive grant monies and that money's already.
Yeah, if they go to Austin and.
Well,
and-
all of them will have to receive federal money because, they have to go through FCC.
They'll let us know when we charge them that they don't have to
Oh,
pay.
yeah.
Okay.
And why they don't have to pay.
Okay.
AT&T was very clear. They're like,
Okay.
yeah, we're not paying. that."
Okay.
So my only objection to this, and it was when it was passed too, I still don't believe we should charge for ETJ removal petitions. We've
I
never
don't
s-
think we should charge for
think we should
anything,
either.
honestly. And the reason I say that is if we.
aligning ourselves like our cities around us that don't charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I opposed it first time, but I'm welcome to hear council, but it's on there and my position is we shouldn't charge for it.
Well, so my attitude in drafting this was I'm simply capturing what
I get it.
is in place
Right
today,
now, yes.
and then we can go work against that. So I didn't create
that's what-
anything new.
Yep.
This is exactly, if you go across all of our different ordinances and resolutions, this is the list. you
So
will
would
come
we
up
have
with.
to change the ordinance to change this
We
fee
don't have an
schedule?
ordinance.
You-
This is the
This,
ordinance.
this ordinance
Well,
now becomes
okay.
the tool, and if you notice in
So the
here,
amendment now would correct that.
that's correct. So if you notice here, it says, future changes may be made to the fee schedule by resolution or ordinance. So now it's trivial to make a change to it. So if you want, on the July meeting, I can put an agenda item to
Okay,
eliminate, and we'll simply update the master schedule. It'll have a new
Okay.
date, and we're done.
So why are we
Works for me.
charging for a zoning variance application? I mean, like the
Because
ET,
it takes time.
whose time?
Mine and Dale's and the secretaries and,
We're high dollar.
well, we're not high dollars, but
$0
it
an
takes
hour.
time. I mean, it's not a,
Well, that was the Board of Adjustments does the variance, which is gonna be volunteers in the future.
that's right.
We're
But
volunteers now and we can't charge for our time.
no, we're not charging for, it's,
Yeah, this is.
it takes
Yes,
time. I mean,
secretary.
we came up with that number back when we passed that application and it passed the lawyer sniff test and that's what we went with. I'm not even sure the gentleman we did the variance for paid it because we didn't have an
No, we
official
didn't have it. It wasn't
schedule
signed.
that
so we
said
didn't
you
have
had to pay it. So now
You
we
had
have
to check ready.
I'm just asking the
Because
question.
wouldn't it also include the paper? I mean, even though we
But
got,
that's what it is.
we got a line
That's
item,
what
but when you
$75
put it in the
put it in the
paper,
newspaper, you
Yeah.
have to put a sign. I
Yeah.
mean, it's any number of.
you've got to put some, you gotta put some, work into it,
Yeah.
and so I don't have a problem.
So like the ETJ petition, removal petition, eventually that's gonna cost us a lot of money.
Once we decide that,
Okay.
Yeah.
we can put that in. There. So you're asking us to pass this. We can revise
No,
this
now.
master sheet later, master fee
You would be
schedule later.
passing it with these fees. If you want, I'll put it in the July
Okay.
agenda.
Or you can make a motion
And you can
and take
change
it out.
No, we're not, because then
Can't
we
do
gotta
that?
start over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've agreed we're
I'm
not gonna
fine with
pass
that.
anything that requires changes. This is exactly what you're voting on.
I'm fine with
And
that.
Not a
as
single
long
word
as
on it.
in the writing of this that we can change fees.
Yeah.
Plus down the road. So
It's right
everything
here.
we.
It's in section 1.
Yeah, you read it. I'm
Future
just-
changes may be made by resolution or
Yeah.
ordinance. So we can do a resolution next month and you can put whatever you want on it.
I'll move to,
Okay,
There's
first let's go
nobody
to, so nobody signed up, but having heard this riveting conversation, does anybody in the audience want to comment on the master fee schedule? Give you the mic if you want it. Again, the idea is to sort of get legal by having a document that captures all this. So this kind of brings all that into line, makes this good. Okay, back to the table. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion, just a second. But I want to, the law is very strict about how we can charge people fees. And I just want to make sure that we are in line with that. Have you checked?
Yeah.
Okay,
Can be
All
a
right.
topic.
I make a motion to approve the zoning ordinance to adopt the
Master
master
fee
fee schedule.
Master fee schedule.
Nice.
as written.
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Tom. So we have a motion by Tracy, second by Tom. All in favor? Okay, that leaves nobody opposed. Thank you, council. Okay, number 3, discuss and take action on the citizen survey. We've been working on this for quite a while. It's time to launch it. Even if it's missing a wing or two, we're gonna put it in the air and see what happens. So Dale, you want to head up the conversation on this? You've got it in your packet. Citizens, you received it in yours as well.
Okay, so what we've done, you've seen all of the budget minutia that we have to discuss and trying to figure out how to do it. So what we're trying to do is basically a strategic 5-year plan. How are we going to pay for this town? And so what we've done, we've come up with a survey. And the only information we're gonna ask for is your address, where you live, so that we can verify that the people submitting the survey actually live in the town. But it's 10 questions. It is more of an education, make sure you understand how the town is designed, ordinances, fees, things like that. And then there will leave a place, number 11, where you can make any kind of comments you want to make. What we're trying to figure out is what we want the citizens to tell us. As everyone knows, first council is the first property tax that's ever imposed on citizens. The council, on pretty much a simple majority vote, can impose a property tax. We don't want to do that for obvious reasons. So what we want to do is take the citizens, go through the survey, answer the questions. And there is a question about property tax, yay or nay. That's all we want to know. And then we're going to take the responses from the survey, and use all the algorithms and figure it all out. And then come back to the citizens and say, okay, we'll have a public meeting and have the citizens tell us this is what happened. This is what the citizens are saying. We want to do what the citizens want to do, not what we want to do. Quite honestly, I think most of the council and everybody, we're silent on the issue. We're not taking, at least I'm not taking a position on what we do. So the survey is going to be coming out we've gone over it several times. This is pretty much the finished product. If we agree to this, then we would want to talk about some dates, and maybe we could do that tonight. How long do we want the survey to run? 30 days, 60 days?
I would say 30.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
I think the longer you keep it out there, the less likely it is.
Okay.
And the other thing is, this is going to be online also.
Yeah, it'll be online.
Okay.
You could fill it out, bring it in here.
So they can go to the town website and do it
Right.
online.
We're gonna
take a
try to-
picture of it and email it to us. I mean, however
Any
you
way
do
you
it.
can
We just
get
wanna
it.
one
get the
of,
information.
one of the conversations I had with Dale, and maybe we do this further because it's an education campaign / survey. We have
Yeah.
to make sure they know what they don't know. There's so many people that still don't understand the map. This is our best attempt at it. But one thing I spoke to Dale about this is maybe have a town hall
Town hall
meeting
meeting, yeah.
that we could spend 2 hours. We could put a dead stop on it and go question by question, answer any questions about the physical question to his point without
Yep, I agree.
siding on one side or the other, but just make sure everybody's, and then at the end of that, they could drop their ballots
Yeah.
in a box at the back.
You
And
can
I think
fill it
that's
out.
going to be our best way to,
I
because
agree.
the biggest question are how many are going to participate?
Right.
Well, I think if we can involve the citizens and say, we're going to have an open town hall, you come and ask whatever questions you want to, I think that's going to be our best involvement.
Sure, sure.
So-
I agree with that.
And I don't do social media, so some of you may know things that I don't know and I don't care about, but the end of this survey is not us voting on an ordinance.
No.
It's just not. We are so far away from that.
Yeah, years.
But what we've been trying to do over the last year is to have a conversation amongst ourselves and amongst the citizens about how our town is set up, what our town's struggles are, what our town's desires are, our citizens. It's not just us, but it's all of you as well. And as Terry said, and Dale said, just kind of educate one another, because I can tell you as mayor, we're not doing a property tax. I mean, we're just not. But what I've also told you before is when you get tired of driving on the roads, because they've just completely disintegrated, because they're beyond potholing and, level up here and there. We, as a group, the council and the town will sit down and talk about how we fund it. In the meantime, we're going to try grants, we're going to try all kinds of other things, but we just want people to kind of understand, because I can tell you on the property tax thing and in question 10, that does not solve every problem that we have financially. It just
No.
doesn't. There's not
Not a
enough
property
money.
tax either.
But I think
Takes
people
a
need
little
to
pressure off.
understand, and I'm off on a tangent a little bit, zero of the dollars that you send your county every year for property tax comes back to this town. Zero. When we became a town, when we incorporated, all of us, we basically left all of that money with the county, who now gets to distribute it over a smaller part of their county to do work. And we were on our own to figure out a way to survive, right? So we came up with the trash can fee and the electric meter fee and the sales tax. And that's bringing in a few $100,000 a year. Thank God we're paving, roads as best we can with it. But anyway, I say all that to say, I go to these meetings with Rockwall and others. They're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a lot less zeros, right? I mean, we're just, we're skipping on
Just
copy
zeros.
paper.
Right.
And I'm okay with that as long as y'all are okay with it. I mean, I don't mind. I drive pickups. I know where the holes are. I just avoid them. But, we've got people coming into the community that have different expectations, right? We got people moving in that they want to know when the good roads are going to be here, and they want to know when the whatever. And it's like,
Asking for a donation.
never.
Back to the city.
And we want you to talk to your neighbors.
Yeah.
We don't want 50 surveys. We want a good representative sample of the town. So
Yes.
talk it up, hand out surveys, whatever it takes. If we talked about maybe if we could at least get 150 surveys, then
We
we
just-
feel like we have a representative sample.
Yeah, we just want to know what people are thinking. I
Yeah,
mean, we
that's all we-
encounter
that's all
some
we're
of you
at.
guys from time to time, or you call or whatever, but that's not nearly the 2,000 or so people that live inside the town limits. I mean, we want people involved in these conversations, so.
Mike, and I guess just for, make sure on the legal side is that none of us, in my opinion, none of us should be the ones counting the surveys. It should be Laura Lehue.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's fine.
secondly, she should retain all the records, because if
Confidential
anybody ever
information,
questions
yes.
this, she should have every record in her file to be able to
From the writing
produce.
sheet.
And then thirdly is that in presenting the results, that my feeling is that Laura should be the one to
I
do
agree
all
with
the-
that.
all the tabulation and not us. We should get the information.
And she should present that. It shouldn't be us presenting. it.
Yes,
That's
she
right.
should, and that, to give it some transparency.
Yes.
Well, with a caveat though, we a council or future council is not obligated to take any action based on what we
Right.
hear.
No, I
I
understand.
mean, if everybody says we want concrete roads, it's like, well, great, but you're not gonna get them, and thanks for your input,
We will take this and formulate a 5-year strategic plan.
Yeah, and
That's all we're gonna do.
Right. My only feeling is for the legalities of it,
that's fine.
is let's keep it all
I think
transparent.
that's
agree with
fair.
that.
I don't wanna do it, so.
No.
I'll let Laura doing it.
I don't
Yeah.
want to do it, so.
Not me.
Yeah, I
We
think
need a
that's fine.
statistic.
But I don't think we need to go to the extreme of hiring an outside company.
No, it's not.
But,
No, no, no.
Not
Yeah.
that,
I mean, Laura's perfectly capable
Yeah,
of doing
she
it,
is.
and Teresa's overwhelmed already.
yeah.
She doesn't need.
and we need to, you know, and to Terry's point and Dale's point, I think a town hall meeting where people, we could talk, go over this, have the conversations. They can
All right,
drop them in a box if they want to, whatever.
when do
go
we want to
home,
have that
whatever.
meeting? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Town hall?
I think we'd probably need something bigger than this.
I don't know. I need 3 business days to announce it minimum,
Yeah.
so
But let's plan for 2 weeks.
can we do like a
Shoot for 2
6:30 or something?
And cause I'm thinking maybe this goes
Well,
live.
let's
July
ask,
1?
let's ask the audience. What's a
Okay,
good
so
time for
whoever
them?
speaks, if you've got a thought on that, let us know. But maybe 6:30 to 8:30 and we'll have it somewhere we can do it. in our
Summertime, a
school.
lot of people are going on vacation this time of year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just hard.
That's why we're doing 30 days.
Just call us. We'll fill out one for you. I mean, we just need to get the information. We're just
Yeah.
trying to get
And we'd
somebody's
like to
opinion other
launch.
than ours.
And we set a launch date of July 1. Good.
so if we,
Holiday weekend.
yeah, so
See?
you're looking, so 2 weeks from now is the 9th.
Okay,
So
well,
we'll
we may
shoot-
need to leave the survey open longer than a month, but we'll see. Let's,
Okay.
I think we
45
started with
days?
getting Laura to put it out on the website. Let's see if anybody even looks at it.
Would it be a drop-in?
You can do it online too.
No, like
Come
if
and
you
go.
do 6:30 to 8:30, are you talking about a drop-in?
Well, it could be,
We
but
can
we're
do that
gonna
too.
probably provide information in a serial fashion, so. if you
Y'all
come in
tell us
the
what
middle-
y'all want. That's what y'all are here for. Tell us what y'all want to see.
Okay,
it'll be recorded as
Yes.
always.
let's go to, the citizens for a second on this. I had a couple of people signed up. Kenzie, I think, left. Right? And Shelley Smith? And anybody else that wants to speak is welcome to follow Shelley now that you've heard the topic.
I think y'all did a really good job on this survey for sure. On number 1, that you have the map shown there without the ETJ stuff was smart. I actually talked to somebody last month. We've been in town for 5 years. Talked to somebody last month who was a very, very vocal person at these meetings. And I told him, I said, did you know the town is approximately 622 feet wide and 36 miles long? And he's like, that's the first I've heard of that. So anyhow, thank you for putting that on there. And then secondly, on number 10, there's nothing in there stating that it's taxed only on what's inside the city limits. You follow me? So,
Yes.
so people are thinking, oh, well, my whole property would be
A
taxed.
big problem.
Those appraised values came,
Well, it says
the,
value of property within the town of
Town of
Poetry.
Poetry.
and that came from CAD, so that's what they're saying is inside
Okay.
of the boundaries.
I would emphasize that, and let me just state, and I've said this before, so I'm preaching to the choir here, but like the neighbors on one side of me, their house is in the city limits. The 50% tax, they would increase their property taxes by $1,894. The people on the other side of me, the part that's in the city limits, would increase their tax by $3,570. Our taxes would increase by 40.
Yeah.
$40. You know, so people need to know if your house is in,
See,
It's very disproportionate.
very disproportionate.
yeah,
Yeah.
so-
But that's the boundaries that we were given.
Oh, I totally, I get it. But you might want to point out, you know,
well,
like,
see, in some county, I think Coffin County, if any portion of your house is in the town, they consider it all in town.
yeah, so.
It's a mess. We get it.
So if there's any kind of something in there where you could put, you know, like this mostly applies to people who have their house inside the city limits.
Well, I think we
And if you
say,
have ag exemption land in the city limits, you're probably gonna be, you know,
we
like
say
peanuts.
probably 95% of the parcels of the town portrait are not entirely in the town.
Right, right.
So-
But I would point out if your house is in then you're gonna be taxed more than
Well,
your neighbor who's ag exempt.
Understand,
So-
if we were to decide to do a tax, then we've got a whole sling of
Oh.
legal.
You
big
got
we'd
you
have
got a
to
lot
figure
to
out.
do
Yeah.
before that.
There's
So-
nine things that a town has to go through before they ever get a property
Oh,
tax.
totally.
It's
I
a
get it.
lot
I
of
get
work.
it.
It's a
But
bunch.
for
Lot of it.
purposes of the petition, or the survey, because you want to know what people are thinking. So give them the most amount of information,
Well, for those who
Because-
turn it in, we'll at least know they're educated now, right?
Yeah.
So it's,
hopefully. Yeah.
And that's what
That's why we
we're
have the
here for
public
questions.
meetings.
But I'm very proud of the survey idea. I think that's really smart. So,
I think you
kudos.
need like a town tattoo. If you've read the stuff,
Yeah.
you get a little tattoo or
Yeah,
something.
There you go.
Okay, anybody else in the audience want to speak on the survey? You don't have to have signed up. You're welcome to walk up.
Is the survey already finalized?
Well, it's,
Pretty much, yeah.
we're trying. I mean, we've been here like
We
3
want
times.
to watch.
We're hoping
anyway.
we're hoping it's final. It's in the packet if you want to look at it later on the website under this meeting. Okay, council, back to you. I guess I'd like to have a motion to approve the survey so that we're good on that, and then we can talk about how we take it out to the citizens, maybe as a separate one. Let's break it up into pieces in case it falls apart. Do I have a motion to approve the survey as it is right here? No changes, no marks, no nothing.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Dale, a second by Tracy. All in favor of approving the survey as written? Okay, unanimous. Thank you, council. Okay, so you just approved the document. Now let's talk about what do we want to do? Do we want to leave that to Dale and Terry? You worked with Dale on this?
Yes.
Do we want to leave it to Dale and Terry and Deb and Laura to kind of start getting it out, and then we'll come back to you with whatever public meetings we're gonna have.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this in phases,
Right.
and waves.
So we
We
agreed to
even
it.
talked about it, and this something that would be in your spending threshold, but even talked about getting a QR code and put them on a sign,
Mhm.
town,
Yeah.
survey.
I don't think
They-
Laura
they-
mentioned that. I don't
They
think
can
it was
take a
mentioned.
picture and then it'll send them to the website where they can download it.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things that I don't want us going into September and still having this out there.
Well-
I mean, that's just
Well,
my opinion.
Well, I like the July deal, and we could wrap it up in the middle of
Yeah.
August and.
Yeah.
I agree with
Get-
that.
we should
45
be able to
days?
Get the results within.
Okay,
30
Dale, you
days.
and Terry and Laura overwhelm us with, let's launch it, quick as you can get it out there,
Yeah.
get it on the website,
Yeah.
So we'll launch it.
get some
Launch
QR
it.
codes. Tom, are you leaving?
Now, what about,
Oh, cramp.
what about signs?
Like in the basketball games, you know.
What about signs?
Are you opposed to-
Well, you guys have authority. I can
Well,
spend up to $500, so long as it costs
Okay,
less than
$500
$500. We can
Fair.
buy some
They can
signs.
advertise the date and they can take them through the survey.
And
Well, maybe we
QR
make the
code.
sign generic, because we may do later surveys. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just, hey, town survey, please participate.
At
There you go.
poetry.
Something we
Well,
can
in the
reuse.
background, I have all the information, where the meetings are gonna be held,
Oh, well, that's,
you see what
yeah.
I'm saying? No
Yeah.
date on that.
so do you want us to work with
Laura,
poetry,
you work with Laura.
Christian, to get the venue?
Yeah, she'll work with them. She's,
Okay,
Yeah, Lauren and,
yeah, she works at the
She works
school
there.
also, so
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
can,
she'll be back tomorrow, we'll give her till Monday.
okay,
Maybe
done
that's-
done
Laura
with
be
the
back tomorrow.
survey. Thank you,
what about,
Dale and Terry and others for helping us
call.
on that.
all right.
Okay, so here's the one everybody came for, I'm pretty sure.
Best for last.
Number 4, discuss and take action as needed on ordinance 2024-4-01 ad valorem. It's spelled wrong. I'm not picking on anybody. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make
Yeah.
sure you knew I didn't spell it wrong.
Okay.
And neither did our lawyer, apparently. He said he wouldn't do that.
Right.
Again, as I say here, passed back in 2024. Now, just to remind us all, at the August 17th, 2021 meeting, and Terry and I and Tom were there, council voted that the property tax rate in the town of Poetry was to be, and Brian was there, 0.0%. Okay, and that is what the property tax rate is in Poetry. And we did that because I guess the counties and others require a number. They generate reports and they have to have something. You can't just say we don't have one. You have to, so we gave them 0.0. Now, I don't think that constitutes our first implementation of a property tax. So I think if we ever did one, council, not this one, but if this council ever did one, they still have to go through whatever the initial property tax setup rules are. Okay, so that said, in a meeting in April of 2024, I guess it was, based on the date of the ordinance, a number of folks on the council proposed a ordinance, which is what's in your packet. It's ad valorem restrictions ordinance, and it basically was intended to hinder future councils, not just this one, but forever, from implementing a property tax. And it has, if you read through it, all kinds of things that have to be met before a property tax can be implemented, so on and so forth. A couple of, as I look through, we're cleaning up our ordinances and resolutions. We're not changing them. We're just trying to get them on the website, make sure we got the actual copy that was voted on and it's got signatures. So we're just doing a lot of librarian type stuff. When I came across this one, it just kind of struck me as, okay, so is this binding? Does this actually do anything, right? Does this stop? And what I determined from that, and many of you may know this, is that anything a government can do, a future government can undo, right? There's nothing you can put into force that lasts forever. So this ordinance or another one like it, I mean, they have no more staying power than people's willingness to say, yeah, we agree to be bound by that, but legally we don't have to. So what I'm doing by putting this on here is simply calling the question, and I guess we're going to hear from a lot of citizens, as to, you know, what our thoughts are on this. As I say in the agenda item, state law regulates how towns implement property taxes and how towns increase. And in fact, Austin has got a lot more involved in increasing because they basically are taking power away from towns to increase property taxes, which is going to be interesting to see how that lays out. But anyway, I just want us, we've had a conversation, and I know some of you are probably sitting there thinking we're building up to something. We're not building up to anything. We're having a conversation. And we just want everybody that we can to be involved in that conversation. This council, my prediction is, I don't control the 5 votes, but my prediction is it's not going to pass a property tax, okay? It's just not going to happen. We don't want a property tax any more than you do. But you saw us in the budget workshop try to figure out how to make very tiny numbers into not so tiny numbers, and it's really hard. So again, I'm okay with grinding the roads up and blading them 4 times a year. That would make me just
Make 'em
happy as a
rock.
bug. But I don't think all of you would be happy with that, and people that are moving in probably aren't going to be happy with it. And so we're in this quandary of, you know, how do we pay our bills? So back to the point, this ordinance is law right now, today, as we sit here. I'm simply calling the question, and I don't have a vote, as to do we think we need this, or do we think state law that regulates taxation by cities and towns is sufficient? I don't know. You guys get to vote. I'm not going to leave here mad either way. So if you don't want to vote, you don't have to vote. We don't have to vote on it. But if you do want to vote, either way, I'm okay with that too. So open to council.
Well, to open discussion on it, I think our biggest problem with this ordinance is, I think what we found out, the town attorney never reviewed it, right? He doesn't remember reviewing it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, there's so much state law around taxes. And my big fear is, I don't believe that this ordinance holds any water, because there's so many conflicts with state law.
Yeah.
And I think what we have here, throw it around the other way, somebody come in and thinks we ought to have taxes, and they read this ordinance, they can obviously see what it is. Well, we got a lawsuit on our hands. I think.
Yeah, you can have a lawsuit on your hands because you can, because you're tying the council's hands.
Right.
And so they would have to repeal it anyway to pass
Right.
a property tax.
So I just believe, and there's no reference at all normally with an ordinance, especially about taxes, you're gonna have references in the document of your backup from state law, and there's none.
Yeah.
So
And
this,
I want to say this. I remember when this was passed, and I get it. I get it. Nobody wants property
Nobody does.
taxes. I don't. And at the time, I just don't think the council was young. We just didn't know. Okay. But now we know that the rules are very specific. The laws are very specific
very much so.
about how you can pass property tax. You can't exceed what the law allows. Okay. And so
And you have to follow the
you have,
process.
yeah.
There's a process out there.
Well,
This is
unless
not it.
lest there be anybody in the audience that thinks this is sour grapes, everybody on the council voted for this, and I
Mhm.
was on the council,
Yes.
and one other person sitting at the table was on the
Yeah.
council. We all voted for it. Because again, to Tracy's point, the spirit of it is exactly what we
exactly.
support. You know,
Yeah.
we don't want a property tax, and I think it felt like it was a statement that was very firmly made that we don't
Yes.
want a property tax, and so we feel like future council needs to have to go through a lot of pain and anguish to
Yeah.
get there
Mhm.
if they want to do it. So, but anyway, any other comments from council?
I
We
mean,
got audience.
basically what a council, if we keep this, if we were to keep this,
We at least need to fix the spelling error.
we need to fix the spelling. And you're gonna have to have an ordinance to pass a property tax anyway. And another council, I want people to think past 4 years from now. The people that you see here now might not be here. And they're gonna take this, they're gonna bring it to the table and say, we're gonna repeal this ad valorem restriction ordinance, and we're gonna
Follow state law.
Next item, pass
the
the
next
property
side,
tax.
we're gonna pass a property tax. Because I don't know if a lot of people understand this. Currently, the law states that a council for the first time can pass a property tax without citizen approval. The laws are changing on that. They're trying to get that to where the citizens get the vote, which I totally agree with that. I think everybody should get a vote whether you have property taxes or not. But that, I just want people to know that. So this council has no, or my opinion, is I have no desire to pass a property tax as long as I sit on this council. But I'm not gonna be here in 4 years. I might not be here the next term. So just know, this is for future councils.
Well, I want to disagree with you and Mike a little bit, and it would take a lawyer's decision. I believe that 0% that was passed was the initial tax rate.
Well,
I think
Okay.
any vote from here going forward would go to the citizens.
Okay, that might be. yeah.
Well,
True.
and I think that's an interesting idea, and
Yeah.
I explored that before the meeting, because I thought if we could qualify that as the original tax,
Then the citizens get
then
a vote from
it's,
now on.
now it has to go on a ballot.
That's right.
I mean,
Okay.
now it's like super complicated to
Yeah.
change it from 0 to anything.
That's right.
Okay,
But when I look back at the August 17, 2021 minutes, it was an agenda item number 10, and we voted on it unanimously.
but
But
we didn't set tax rate.
it wasn't a resolution or an
Yeah.
ordinance, so I don't know if we could use
Sure.
the minutes. It's something we should at least check, because I
For
think
sure.
if that's the case, to me, that would do a lot more than,
Yes,
And
I
that's kind of
agree,
what
I
we do
totally
with the
agree with
survey.
that.
We're trying to dovetail all of this in and find out what the citizens want us to do.
And I want to make one more comment, and probably not the most popular one tonight. We're all fiduciaries to the city.
Yes,
We also retain the right to vote as a citizen.
yes.
Fiduciary of the city, and this survey that comes up in this budget is what should guide this conversation.
You're right.
You reserve the right of whatever you want to do at the ballot box, and I'm going to be opposed to it. But as fiduciaries, we have to make a balanced budget, and we have
It's
to make hard
hard.
decisions sometimes.
I'm
I'm not saying it's this year, but that's the responsibility of this
You're
council.
right,
Amen.
you're right,
So
absolutely.
Tom, you got anything?
Well, I think your point was really good. I didn't realize this, is that it's 0 to make a change just to go to the public.
Yeah.
So in my
Any
mind,
change is huge. It's
so in my mind,
Yeah.
that means just leave it.
We need to
Don't
get a
do-
legal opinion on it, but that would be pretty cool if that was the case.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's subject to legal opinion, but at least the way it was phrased and we think, I don't see any reason to change it.
Well, and the wording in the minutes was that we were required legally to have it in a meeting and voted on to establish it. So I don't know, that may be enough. That would be a blessing. Well, I'll check that out. I didn't have time because that only occurred to me at the,
So we first
Beginning
need
of
to
the
get a
meeting.
legal opinion of, have we got?
we're having a conversation. You don't need to do anything tonight. We're having a
Okay.
conversation.
There's
We
no
got a lot
vote
of
tonight.
people wanna-
No, we're
We
not.
don't have to
No
vote
vote
on it.
tonight.
No, I don't control that. That's,
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
not calling for a vote.
Okay, well, I'm for leaving it like it is. I don't see, at least now, I don't see any reason to
Again,
do
I think
anything
it'd be
different.
nice to correct the spelling error, but
Well, we can vote on that. We can vote to correct the spelling. I mean,
maybe we'll put it in quotes.
You were feeling, what's the point?
Yeah, what kind of liability do you have leaving it the way it is?
Well, hang on a second. So Doug, you got anything?
No, the state is really coming down on cities to be controlling the taxes. We all know that. And, you know, if you try to go above the percent, then the state says you got to vote on it.
Well, you have to have audited books and
Yes.
justify that
Oh,
you
yeah.
need the money and
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean,
complicated.
I mean, it's a
here-
process.
here's the list. Determine the taxing authority and tax administration. Revenue modeling, receive certified appraisal roll, publish a tax rate notice, public hearings, adopt a budget, adopt a property tax rate, collect tax collections, a boundary survey has to be done before you can do property taxes.
Well, y'all are safe, man. Since we got
Boundary
for it.
survey.
If
Okay.
you don't know what your boundaries are, you are not a taxing authority.
Doug, you got anything else? We got a lot of people want to get up and tell
No,
us.
that's fine. I mean, it is what it is and what we're talking about. I understand Tom's point of view. There's a lot to it if we ever went down that road and we were gonna say, okay, well, this
Yeah.
is whomever goes down the road. This is gonna be a lot of hoops to jump through. But the thing that I'm thinking about and I'm not sure of is when the state says you can only go up so much percent.
Mhm.
Well, when you're at zero, we may not even, we may say, well, we're gonna go up to that minimum, but that still may not be enough. So I mean, there's a lot
I
of,
mean, you can go up to $1.50 per
Yeah.
hour.
$1.50 the first time.
The first time.
First time.
The cap.
Yeah.
But we may have used our first time.
yeah, but you got the
Yes.
cap.
New legislation for 2.5%.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, if we got from zero to that, we may end up having that cap because we're going up a percentage, but,
So
uh,
2.5% is.
I'm agreeing with
Zero.
I'm agreeing with what's on the table. We
Zero
need
times
to,
anything is zero.
you know.
Okay, so let's jump to the audience.
It was a
Herbert
joke,
Fletcher, you're up first.
I'll pass.
Okay, thanks, Herbert. Candy Fletcher.
Are you candy?
That's how we get to meet each other.
Yeah.
Candy Fletcher Poetry. So Tracy, can you just, I believe you that it's in there, but can you tell us where we can find the law that says that you can pass it? I think people will want to know where the law is that says that y'all can just pass a property
Yeah,
tax.
so
and-
if you go to the Texas tax code laws, I
Okay.
don't know which one specific it is, but
Okay,
it's all in the tax
Yes.
code.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Shelley, I'm glad that you brought that up about the whole, if your house is in the 311 feet.
Yes.
I know we're not there yet, but I mean, I was looking at, you know, what is the median value of a person's house and what would the taxes be at that 50 cents per, you know, I mean,
100, yeah.
I was like, you know, that's going to add an extra 2,000 something dollars to the average person's taxes.
Right.
But that's something I didn't know, and I normally am
Yeah.
pretty thorough looking through things. So I'm glad
So,
that she brought that up.
I'm going to give you and everybody else an idea of how long this takes. It is a 12 to 24 month process to get the property tax
Okay.
implemented. So that
Okay.
helps you.
And I think
Yeah.
the configuration of our town just compounds. the
Yes.
issue.
Hey, it gives me anxiety just listening to y'all talk about the
Oh,
budget.
and us too,
Serious.
yeah. And I'll
I
be-
wish there was a way. And I wish there was a way.
And I did not, this is my fault. I take full responsibility for this. Because part of my job as a council member is to go through ordinances, past and present, to make sure that we are in line with statutes.
Right.
The laws set before us. And when I came across this one, it did not meet those requirements. So we sent it to our town attorney.
Okay.
He gave us feedback. This would not hold water.
Okay.
So that's why it is on the table tonight to decide whether we could keep it. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Or we just get rid of it because
'Cause it'll
there's
never
nothing
pass.
you can do with it.
Right. Okay.
If that makes
Right,
sense.
I
Point
understood,
of order,
understood.
we don't want to get too conversational
Yeah.
here. So those were all facts, if anybody
Yes.
asked. She was giving you facts.
Yeah. Nothing but the facts.
Thanks,
Okay,
Candy.
thank you, Candy. Brian, Vincent?
Good evening. So you guys had a much better discussion on this than I was expecting. So I don't have to come in with the speech that I was preparing in my 2-hour commute. What I would say is that we all are recognizing the intent of what was originally passed.
Yes.
And I think that as a council, it would be wise if you recognized and maintained that intent. Secondly, if we have an ordinance on the books and somebody in the future council tries to impose a property tax without repealing that, it at least gives citizens standing to try to delay it or oppose it. So that's another reason to keep it on the books, I think. And third, it's an expression of how we as a town want to be treated as a town. Because as soon, I'm speaking to the choir here, especially particular members, but as soon as you say there's a property tax, what you're saying is your property no longer belongs to you.
Yeah, right.
And so I think as a council, it would be wise that you say, we're not going to be saying that to our community this time around.
Great point.
Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. Jonathan Blake?
Thank you. Jonathan Blake, Poetry. I don't think that the state law has near the restrictions in it that or protections that this document has, whether it's illegal or not, but the intent is there.
Sure.
And if it's gonna get overturned by a future council, I would just let a future council do it. You know?
That's why we're having this meeting.
Yeah.
So y'all get to tell us that.
Yeah, I just I think that's the safest thing to do, and I agree with what Brian said and Candy. We just and to my memory, I discussed everything with David that I did, so he may not have a recollection of it, but I couldn't access emails because they're all my documents are electronic, so I don't have a town access anymore. So whoever archives that could look that up. There would have been correspondence if you want to check it. But I could understand him not remembering. I mean, think of all the things he does. So
Well, and to your point, one of the questions that came to mind when I was looking at this was that Berman didn't sign it. And on normal ordinances, your town attorney always signs them.
Yeah. But
So, I mean,
Well,
the next town council could throw this in the trash and nobody would ever question
I
it.
mean, you could also recraft it and
Yeah,
fix the spelling error. I don't know.
yeah.
or you can vote.
Y'all tell us if you want us to redo this and make it where
it
it's
up.
clean,
Close
we
it
can do that.
State law, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would be good because it would, it's not to encumber a future. No one, unless state law changes, then they always have a referendum. It's like they only have a referendum if you go over the maximum allowed.
well, this does. Just so you know that.
Yeah.
It goes over the maximum allowed by the law.
No. I'm saying if the tax increase, if they recognize the zero as the base,
Yes.
and then you decide that you want to implement a higher tax rate, then there has to be a referendum. But if you stay below their minimal, it just takes a super majority. Well, I don't think it takes a majority. That just takes a regular majority. At least in here, it had a super majority for doing it.
Oh, any ad valorem is a supermajority.
Super majority.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, if you could make it legal, then I would make it legal. I think that would put a lot of citizens at ease. And all it was do was to put steps in there so that the notifications would go out, and that, Mike, your attendance was low because nobody's really paying attention. They didn't want a future council to just, we're going to have this on the next thing. Nobody's here. We're going to have property taxes. And then a lot of people are not happy because they
Sure.
didn't know about it. That's why there was all those steps in there, so that would happen,
Well, I mean, I'll be happy to work on
Thank you,
this, or
Jonathan.
you give it to
Well,
David, or.
let's finish the conversation.
Yeah.
So, Barbara Hendricks?
Oh, yes, I'm from Poetry, and I just want to reinforce what Candy and Jonathan and Brian said.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Okay, Kenzie, not here. Shelley Smith?
So just to clarify, do we know that the original ordinance is legal?
According to the lawyer, other than the misspelling, I mentioned that, he said he didn't see any issue with it, but he also said it doesn't do anything.
So he did see it.
Right.
He has seen it, yeah.
He
'cause I
saw it
sent
back
to him.
in 24.
Yeah, before we had this conversation, I sent it to him and said, hey, this is what I'm thinking of putting on the agenda so we can talk about it. Do you have any issues with it? And he's like, no. And he said, but I didn't write it because I wouldn't have misspelled the word. And, not to say he'd never seen it, to Jonathan's point, he may have. There was a lot
He
going
just
on
doesn't-
back
What
then.
it is, if attorneys use word perfect, not Word.
Yeah, well, it's whatever.
And
It's-
so this document, I think, is Microsoft Word, which that was his first clue, I think, that an attorney didn't draft it.
But
Okay.
to your question, Shelley, I believe the document would pass legal scrutiny, but
Okay, just checking. Thank you.
thank you. Adam Lee? He left. Adam Lee, no Adam Lee. Blake?
Blake Craig, private road 2428.
Okay, quiet in the audience, please.
I'm a longtime listener, first time caller here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
First and last.
Just kind of looking at this from the overview, I was like, seeing the city tax possibility, obviously everybody came and kind of freaked them out.
Well, we're glad. We want you here.
Yeah, we're glad
Yeah,
you're
I was
here.
like,
wouldn't have tried to freak
This
anybody
is a
out, but-
community
Yeah,
Exactly
effort.
what we wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, this might be the time for me to have something to say. And I don't know. I know y'all, I actually voted for all y'all. So whatever that's worth. But where I'm going here is probably not going to be super popular. What is the town doing for us as citizens? It looks like we got ourselves into a pickle. Whether we have to let the roads go because we can't fund it. Yeah, I mean, you either need to do a city tax
Audience.
to fund it or not do anything and let them go to gravel. So it looks like we're kind of at a crossroads.
We kind of are.
And my humble opinion is, I don't know what it looks like to unincorporate. I would like to see some more benefits, we all just want to be left alone. And I honestly, that's why everybody voted to incorporate. I say everybody, the majority.
You voted for incorporation to be left alone?
That's we didn't want to, I said, I
You want to
voted
be
against
taken over.
incorporation.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, then the more information that comes out, it's a little bit more of a scare tactic. And I'm just trying to see the benefits. Maybe now, we want to control development. Okay.
And we
But-
can't do that with.
But that's 311 feet. So, 311 feet is barely from here to the
Road.
from the road, and you can build whatever you want to. The 0.05% tax, on my property, that's $5,000 a year. Quite frankly, I'm okay with the track home being built on my back property line. I wouldn't pay $5,000 to keep it away, is kind of the way I'm looking at it. But I just don't know who's actually saying it on the record, because I paid enough attention. But maybe we look at I guess disincorporation, not unincorporated.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody I talk to now likes the idea of controlling development and stuff, but they don't really get the whole picture of what really can and can't happen. with that. So it looks like we don't have the money to do what we want to do. We're paying all these taxes to Hunt County, which should be taking care of the roads. And we kind of shot ourselves in the foot, thinking we're, I don't think we're looking, 5-6 years down the road. But that's my little spiel. And, I would definitely be against any kind of property tax. I'm like Mike, turn it to Rock Road. I live on Rock Road.
Yeah.
We've got franchise, I live on a private road. So we pay franchise taxes. Well, not a dollar of that can go to our road. Well, on the electric and all that stuff, everybody really realized how much they're spending extra a month on the franchise taxes. What does that really do? So just something to think about. I don't know if people want to gather together and look, and it proved me wrong. If I'd like to know what the benefits are, even on the side, what the benefits really are of us being incorporated now that we can't, be annexed by Terrell. That was the big thing. We're going to get annexed, and that would be a negative. I would rather be Poetry than Terrell, 100%. But now it looks like since the 2019 law, and maybe we're going about it the wrong way. We're spending more money for nothing.
And SB 2038.
Do what?
Right. Senate Bill
Where you
2038.
can leave the ETJ.
Yeah, where you can leave the ETJ,
Right.
so.
But we can't get out of it. City limits. We, forcefully, since we voted against it, but I get it. I just don't think the voters were, I think it was more, like a fairy tale. It sounds really good, but if you really get to the nitty gritty, it's not as good as it.
Yeah.
It really
I think
is.
the original intent was good. Where it was just 986 and up to Dry Creek. That was a great idea.
Yeah,
'Cause that
I wouldn't have
protected
been
us.
annexed anyways, where
Yeah.
I am,
Right.
on the north side, but it just, anyways, I don't know what it takes to do that, and y'all are working your butt off and for nothing. Only
Don't tell us it's for
only
nothing.
scrutiny.
Thank you.
I say for nothing, but
It's not for
like
nothing.
for no pay.
Come on,
That's
we
why
take
they
the job
pay.
seriously.
That's why y'all pay us the big bucks.
Yeah, for no pay.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
wrap it up, Blake.
Yeah.
We gotta, somebody's gonna call you on time here in a minute. I'll get in
Yeah,
trouble.
that's all I have to say. Just
Okay.
put it out there.
Thanks for your thoughts, and just for the record, Blake is not a plant. I have nothing to do with this incorporating.
This is the first time I've seen him, so.
But, listen, we're a family, and it's a fair
That's
question, right? And
yeah.
it's been asked over and over.
It's just like, what does it do for us? If there is something that I'm missing, I would love to hear.
Yeah, don't be threatened by it, but we, as Terry pointed out earlier, we are elected by the citizens to represent the town. We are not here to disincorporate the town. We are here to do the best we possibly can with what we have in support of the town. That is not,
And if the citizens get together and they have another plan,
Speaking
come
the
to us.
people in the background more than,
Oh.
or the people in the council. I know that, y'all's job when y'all get elected,
Yeah.
y'all need to do it.
yeah,
exactly
quite honestly,
the
to be
best
good
thing
at this
you can.
job, you gotta be a little delusional, because you
Yeah.
have to believe that there's a solution,
That's
even
right.
though you know there may
Right.
not be one. But we're gonna keep believing, because, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
We are where we are, and we need to try to figure it out.
Well,
So we're gonna keep doing it.
I want to say thanks to everybody that's here and everybody that's out there, listening to us as well. Because what they've got a taste of is what we're all up against.
Yeah.
And how hard we're trying to make, chicken salad. And so, but y'all are seeing, the challenges that we have, and we are doing our best to keep the city up, and also at the same time planning with our budgets of how much money can we do to help us get over this hump or that hump. So, but appreciating everybody's there to see here that sees, it's a difficult time, and it's not just throw something on the wall and see if it sticks.
And that's,
So,
and to Doug's point, we need y'all's help. We can't do this on our own. We want you to tell us, what do you want us to do? We're not, trust me, this is probably the least political council you will ever see in your lifetime. Because we want to do what y'all want us to do.
Okay,
Anybody
well,
else?
we wore that one out.
We're still on the ad valorem thing, so.
Yeah, we're on ad valorem. So again, I'm not promoting necessarily any action on it. The five of you get to suggest, does anybody feel compelled to do anything other than move on to item 5? We can come back at a later date and talk about if we want to recraft it.
Well, yeah,
Request.
let's look at that. I would say let's not do anything to it tonight.
Yeah, because I'm kind of with Tracy. Let's think about it because I think there's a few of us would kind of like to have a sit down with David and kind of get some planning out of him and also maybe ask questions that we may have that will help us in the future on some of this stuff.
Well, so the way to do that would be between meetings, you and Tracy can do that and come up with a draft that we'll bring to a future council meeting that says, hey, here's an update to
Well,
that ordinance.
yeah.
Let's talk about it.
without getting into a lot of detail, this council needs direction. I mean, we're all doing the best we can, but when it comes to finances and things of that nature, we need assistance. We don't have the money for a financial advisor, which most cities have. And the next best thing would be
The
our
good
town
news is
attorney.
we have so little money.
Right.
But
you know-
my point is,
We're not gonna make a big error, we're just gonna make a lot of little errors.
but my point is that we need to make sure that David understands where we're coming
Yes,
from.
agreed.
When we make these policies or decide we want to change these, we need his eyes on it, and if nothing else, we need his signature on it, so there's not anything that says, well, I don't remember, and I don't
Well,
think
and
because.
anything again, we're trying to keep our legal bill down.
Yeah.
And every one of you that talks to him ends up on an invoice, an hour with
Yeah.
Doug, 2 hours with Tracy.
Yeah,
So we're trying to keep that down, but the second, hopefully you realize, the second I get a response from David within an hour or so, I send
That's
you what he
fine,
said,
yeah.
right? So you get,
yeah,
but if we want to have a telephone conference call or something with him, we can absolutely do that.
because Terry and I come from a deal if it was just said, then it didn't happen, if it's not written down, so.
Okay, well, hopefully we didn't disappoint the audience, but we're moving on to item 5.
That was a good way to get them here though, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's a good way to get it. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna do next month so we can top this.
You gotta put it in the meeting.
Okay,
See, they're all leaving now.
yeah, thanks hey, be careful of those stairs, there's no
Yes.
landing. Okay, item 5, discuss and take action as needed on current road and culvert maintenance strategy. Okay, so you have in your packet a spreadsheet that I created. Tracy's come in and done
There's
one
another one.
also, but let's talk about mine for a minute, just because I'm most familiar with it. We talked at a meeting or two back about, hey, we'd like to kind of see where we've spent our money. So I took just this year, the part that I'm responsible for, and put it on a spreadsheet and broke it out, which roads we worked on, when we worked on them, and what we did. And I did it by county because we have local agreements with Hunt and Kaufman separate. And so you can see, if you go to the totals, that so far this year, we've spent almost $44,000 with Hunt County and a little over 21,000 with Kaufman County. Remember, less of our roads are in Kaufman, so that's probably not a bad proportion. And you can see the cost of the various things, whether they're under road culvert replacements, pothole, or level up. And you can also kind of see, because I broke out the culvert sizes and things, bigger pipes cost more money, smaller pipes cost less money, so on and so forth. So any comments on, did any of this information startle anybody or shock anybody or upset anybody, Tracy?
So,
And there's a
you've
couple
got-
little
you've got a-
errors on it, but it's not
two-
significant.
2 culverts here, same size.
Yep.
One was from 1905 and one was 2,859.
So the one on 2430 was half the county's responsibility because that road's split.
Okay,
Only one side of that road is ours and one side's theirs.
okay, gotcha.
So that's gonna
Makes
be the
sense.
offset in that cost.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and some of these up in the top part where it says 236 inches, that's because there were 2 pipes under the road. I mean, they're
Gotcha.
2 giant pipes, so.
Okay.
Some of these are little bitty pipes, some of these are big pipes, and typically an under road culvert involves them coming out, tearing the road up, pulling the old pipe out, setting the new pipe, backfilling it, and then putting rock, leaving it set for 2 or 3 weeks while it gets compacted, and then coming in with asphalt once it's settled down. We actually did the one in Grande Verde, which is the first one we did a little premature because now we didn't let it settle enough. Now we got a little dip that we're gonna come in and fix. But anyway, so is this information helpful?
Yes.
I love this information. What, and like you and I talked, the only thing that I would like to see changed is a universal language that goes from a worksheet to the budget.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because like you've got pavement on some stuff. Well, your definition of payment, my definition of payment might be two different things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what level up means.
Identify
You just
capital
explained it.
expenditures.
So it'd be
Yeah.
better for Mike to make his look like the budget, because the budget categories are already set.
Yes.
So that'd be pothole repair. I don't know,
And whether it's capital,
capital,
Or maintenance.
yeah, we can put capital, but to Mike, I think, I like.
You gotta
Mike
do
putting the
capital culvert.
Size on there.
yes,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
So whatever
obviously
works for
is
you,
capital.
Mike, to make it work.
Just add one more column and put which,
See, like,
Budget category.
which budget category will come out of. That would be the easiest thing. Say this
Okay.
is 6,100, this is
Okay.
40, whatever.
Yeah.
That would be. the
but
easiest.
my big
Leave
thing
the
was
description.
the capital part.
Yeah.
So
Yep, I can do that. In fact, Teresa tied her, so she actually she took mine and color coded it and told me which category she pulled the money out of,
okay,
what she coded it to, so I can just put that information
Yeah.
here.
perfect.
And she also provided me with all the project sheets back to the beginning of the town.
Mhm.
And so I want to try to go back so we can see from the beginning of time how much money we've spent where. One of the issues one of you brought up was, are we spending the money equally around the town? And of course, we're not spending it on roads that don't need it, right? So if your road doesn't need it, we're not spending money on it. But we're also trying not to play favorites. For me, the priority is, for lack of a better word, the thoroughfares. I mean, the roads that are carrying a ton of traffic. Poetry Road, Tom's Road, 2326.
Yeah.
So
2440.
let me throw this out there, and this, when I say it back to myself, it kind of sounds silly, but like on 2434, you've ordered all that asphalt, I guess. So what if we took 10 feet of that instead of 50 feet and started from the base, rework the base, put whatever we need to do to stabilize it, and then build the road up, and just do it in 10 feet increments. That way we're using the capital. And it's like like I said, it sounds kind of silly, but 10 feet is 10 feet. So,
The problem, that's like
or is that
different
create more
category, like
problems?
renting a bulldozer for 15 minutes. They got to do the heavy haul. They got to bring it in. They got to unload it. You're going to use it for 10 minutes and put it back. So the mobilization cost and time for the county, I mean, they got to bring the grinder out. They got to bring, tractor. I mean, it's
Sure.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
yeah.
Well,
They're
just
just. I think we just make them mad.
But here's the other thing though. So in the areas that you and I discussed on 2434, and when I'd asked you, we talked about potholes. Are we refilling the same potholes?
No.
We're not refilling the same
They're new
potholes,
ones.
but they're in the same vicinity, which tells you that the base is not good.
Well,
And-
but the base isn't good because the surface isn't good, and what happens is the water goes through the asphalt, undermines the dirt that's supposed to be dry, but now it's wet. So by leveling up, you're putting 3 inches or so of hot asphalt. You're putting a brand new top on the road that's airtight, watertight.
Okay.
I mean, the roads that we have, with very few exceptions, there's a soft spot here and there in some of our roads, but very rarely is there a legitimate soft spot. It's that the road itself is allowing water, and you never want water to go under the pavement. You just don't. And so, to me, these level ups, I mean, I don't know if you've driven 2326 after we did it. It's like a super highway now compared to what it was. I mean, there were some, rolling humps and things, and you come in and you put that top and it seals it. So that stretch, how many 100 feet it's going to go per truckload, it's going to be there for years.
without us having to patch hot.
That's exactly
Okay.
right, yes.
So that's a capital
And
improvement.
it's hot mix. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes down and seals
Yeah.
up. And now the thing that I don't know if we're gonna get it done in this term, but is I think we would benefit enormously if we could come in and reseal as many roads as we
Sure.
can, because that's not a terribly expensive process. And you basically just spray emulsion or tar over the road, sealing it, and then you can put chips over it, do like a chip seal pass. That would buy us a lot of time on these roads if we could do it. It doesn't do anything for smoothing them out. You got to have a fairly, because it just covers up whatever's there. But if we could just seal these roads, we would be in great shape.
Well,
I mean, if you walked, I'm shocked. I only walk these roads every once in a while, and I break down or I'm out picking up trash. But if you get out and walk these roads at a slow pace where you're looking down, you'd be shocked at how these roads are terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. I mean, they're just disintegrating. And
So that's something y'all need to think about when we're talking about capital money in the budget. Do we want to use that money towards level up?
yeah, so rather than grinding up, I would do level up and I would do sealing, resealing the roads. I think that's going to take our money the furthest. But again, we are naturally, in my opinion, going to favor the high traffic roads. I mean, roads like Tom's. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds or more cars a day go down that road, but it's a lot of traffic.
And the other thing that I want people to be thinking about also when we're talking about road work is how many tandem axles are going down our roads, not the,
2434 gets plenty.
yeah,
I can tell
and
you.
my road gets a lot. Okay. And the other thing that we need to capture too is like, and I'm going to use my road because the county goes past our city limits and works on the road. And I don't know if there's any other roads out there that's like that. Probably
There is
is.
in Grande Verde. They
Sure.
redid that stretch down there. I mean, Kaufman County built a
Yeah.
beautiful road.
Beautiful,
It's only
Yeah, but were they
it's a mile
passing?
long, but it's beautiful.
And they were passing
it's in
through the
two
city
counties.
limits to get there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, Poetry
So-
Road, you got 3 counties on
Yeah.
Poetry Road.
So, and we also have to remember that on these roads that are dead end roads, that the city limits doesn't go all the way down the road. We have to include that traffic. Does that
And-
make sense?
Mike, in your questions, asking about comments, I guess the one comment I had was, I think in the future, it would be good if we had it broken out by our fiscal year. 'Cause like, so that we know where we
We can
are.
do that. That's
Yeah.
part of
That's easy.
that's part of the reason I put the month and year on here, and I
Yeah.
can give the day actually, because you could resort
Right.
and just show 1 year or 2 years. I just took it from we took office May of last year,
Right.
so I just took it for the part that we were responsible for because that was being questioned. How are you guys spending the money across the town? Well, there's how we're spending.
So
Anyway.
I came up with that. If that's
Yeah,
any
we're
interest.
gonna keep
We're
fleshing this
working on
out.
it,
We'll-
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that was my one comment.
Yeah, probably what I'll do
I
is
like, I
just
do like it, by the way.
start providing this monthly with the financials,
Yeah.
just include this as a report,
That would be great.
and then it'll just kind of be a living document that we,
And then, Tom, I know the last council, you had a grading system. I think we need to kind of go back to looking at that.
Okay.
And that's why I have that column on there.
well, and also Tracy kind of brought over from the objective road report we did council back.
Yeah.
How many houses are on that road or how many
Yes.
parcels? Because if somebody ever said, well, yeah, but how many people live on that road?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's
Yeah, it's right
5
here.
or it's 10 or it's 100 or
Yeah.
whatever, so. Okay, by putting it on there, I wasn't looking for any action on it, so I'm not expecting you to do anything. Any other comments?
And I do have one comment. At least once a quarter, we probably need to sit and rehash road stuff. Or just kind of bring everybody up to speed once a quarter, what money we've spent, what we're seeing, what's working, what's not working, if that's okay with y'all.
Thank you, Blake.
See y'all.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I gotta go
Uh-huh.
get it.
Bye.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
Save us some. Okay.
No action.
I don't think we got any audience left, so I don't need to ask for audience participation.
But
Amy,
one-
do you want to say anything? You were Reagan? Anybody else back there? Mike, you
Yeah.
want to say anything?
Come on, Mike, you're so quiet
Come
back
on.
there.
Come on, Mike.
Mike Griffin, Board Protection. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
We like the kudos.
Yes. Okay, item 6, discuss and take action as needed on adding $10,000 Hunt County Roads escrow. So I asked you for 10,000 last month, you gave it to us. But again, I have the estimate for Tracy's Road. I'm not doing it for Tracy. It's just how I remember the road, 2432. For 6 loads, that's 150 tons of hot asphalt installed. They're having to break it out, labor and equipment, all that. $15,378. So I'm going to use all of what you gave me last month and a little bit more, and I want to get ready for the next one because this is a road fixing
deal.
season.
Yeah.
So I want to keep this pace going. So my request as mayor is for another $10,000 to be added to the Hunt County Roads escrow.
To
So I
to
can-
complete the 2432 work.
well, to complete that and to start on your road.
I see.
Let me, and I'm okay with the 10, but can we not, in the future, like say there's a capital improvement of that, can we not say 3,000 of this is capital improvements, we're fixing this culvert, 7,000 is maintenance?
Well, we're gonna, when
We're
we
working on
charge
that.
this, we are gonna break it out
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
capital.
Okay.
that's what we
I
decided.
mean, it's gonna be on that report I'm gonna give you
Okay,
every month
good.
too.
Yeah.
It'll
That's the
show.
only thing.
I'll put the
think we
budget
need to
category.
start
This would be a
looking at
capital
that.
project, $15,000, a lot of
Yeah.
money. And it's intended to last a long time, years.
Well, yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying. We need that definition of what is a capital improvement.
It's 3 to 5 years.
No, I know that, but does whatever you, the overlay, is that considered?
A level up?
Level up, is that considered?
Yes,
a
that's
capital improvement?
considered
Okay,
capital.
so we
Should
just
last
need
more
to,
than 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a new
So
thing.
I make a motion, we
just
accept
identify
item,
what's a capital
Okay,
improvement.
Tom makes a motion.
I
we
second.
accept item 6.
There you
Terry
go.
seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you, council. We'll go to good use. Okay, wow, we thinned out the audience.
That was fun.
We're to general public comments. Brian's gone, Jonathan's gone, Shelley's gone. Meeting adjourned at, watch out for 8:30 again.
There you go.
Alhamdulillah.